Well, good morning or good evening, whenever you see this, however you see this. So, yeah, I'm just not getting up. And of course, checking my emails. And of course, there's some things I'm going to address based on some of the emails I received. How you doing? But also, allow me to, get my composure because, baby, listen, I was supposed to get up an hour ago. I have to do some things. I'll take my motherfucking car into the shop. They're talking about my alternators, motherfucking skipping and jumping and shit, y'all. And I'm just glad I was able to drive the shit home, okay? But either way, y'all, my car's not a crappy ass car neither. I just feel like at a certain mileage, your cars start having all these little T's that need to be fixed. And I think it's a part of the normal wear and tear. So I have to deal with that bullshit. So I was like, I got to go out there, clean my car out because I don't let anything stay in my vehicle when I take it to the mechanic. Because you don't know, girl, they be like, we're not responsible for anything. And girl, you get there and girl, shit is gone. Not all the time, but still. So I got to deal with that. So listen. And of course, I popped my allergy pill, my sinus pill. And so that's good. It was, it's that time of the year. Okay. So, of course, you guys, there's been a lot going on, publicly, social media wise for a very, very long time. And a lot of people don't really want to discuss it or they don't have the knowledge to discuss it. And of course, I like to address things. I don't want to address every single thing that pops up or that happens because it's just, it's too much. Now, of course, if a lot of my subscribers, I think there's about 500 of you. I don't know. I don't look. I feel like if most of you requested certain type of content, then I would oblige to creating and doing it, right? Because of course, majority rules. But like I said, I can't address every single thing. So a lot of things have been happening, and this kind of goes hand in hand. I be feeling like a lot of you being tuned with myself and, shout out to y'all. And I, things I want to put out, things I'm putting out, you guys kind of respond to them before I even put it out there, which is actually, it's quite amazing. And so there's a Me Not Metanoia that will be, coming through this week. And I forgot to add something onto it. And that's why it was supposed to be dropped actually on Monday. But it kind of goes hand in hand with this. And of course, this situation was solved. But I kind of wanted to highlight by presenting this that there's a connection with all of these things. And it goes even further back, right? Let's first of all go into like spellbounding and people be tying people with lies. And, there's actual rituals that you can do and spells and incantations you can say to kind of untie yourself from gossip, slander, defamation, or any type of lies that people have tied you with, right? What they say, don't crucify me, right? So people can literally use words, and words are weapons, dart, whatever you want to consider a weapon, and they can use these weapons against you. And so, unfortunately, a lot of people become tied with lies, and a lot of these lies started, with themselves, but it's defamation, slanderation, not a word, slandering, and people, getting them together energetically. So I'm going to talk about each one of these things very lightly. And of course, later down the line, we can reiterate it because, I do not mind bringing up old topics and things that we've talked about before. Something that I found out, and we're going to go back into the Midnight Metanoia that's coming out this week and not really give out too much, but what it kind of ties into. I like to surprise you all, but what it kind of ties into. And so something that I've noticed is that there's like a club of there's like some type of club, right? And it's like an unspoken club. It's an unspoken society. It's an unspoken, rule that in order for you to be considered cool, great, powerful, or excellent, that you have to do some type of scamming, some type of defrauding, some type of, crazy self-sabotaging, self-humiliating ritual. And so this happens on different levels in different communities and different type of societies, right? I'm sure, lower class people have their own way, middle class people have their own way, upper class people have their own way. And then you also step into like the medical field, you step into like the political field, step into like the, scientist field, you step into like the construction field. Like there's always some type of level or hierarchy in these groups, and people have to do the most fucked up ass shit, it seems like, to be considered great or to be rewarded for their goodness. And of course, I'll talk about my own experiences, my own stories, because as an adult entertainer, as an adult what they call sex worker, bitch, I met a lot of people, seen a lot of things, heard a lot of stories. And so either way, something about, like I said, doing fuck the bad shit gives you some type of ranking. And even the people who give you these titles or give you these opportunities to level up is as if you have to prove to them that your hands is also dirty. Your hands are also dirty. And so I believe that we've seen this publicly, we've seen this privately, we see this in, a lot of things. Like I said, take a moment, look, assess, watch every single thing. Everybody who's won something, like at this point, it's kind of played out when we hear about like celebrities, especially, winning awards and all some good shit. Now we know it's not just about the talent. We know it's not just about even paying for, your title in cash per se, but maybe there's some type of action you've done that is really fucked up and cruel, and they deem that worthy of getting acknowledged for. And I even feel like sometimes they give people these awards and these recognitions and these titles as a way of saying, bitch, we're going to give you a mile. We're going to give you an inch. We're going to see if you're going to take a mile with it. Or, don't get too cute. We want you to be with us, but we want to remind you that you're not really with us. And so a lot of political people, so I'm going to go in first, is connected to some type of human violating situations. That's how I will call that. And it's going to be one way or another. And a lot of them are connected to children because, as an adult, y'all, and I don't know if you guys ever thought about this, but as an adult, you're required to go get an ID. I believe they started implementing, in some states, teenagers could also get an ID once they get like 13 or 14, they go get their ID. But a lot of teenagers are not getting their IDs. A lot of teenagers are not even driving, getting their driver's license, right? But we're required when we become a certain age to get some type of identification. And I've always found it kind of strange. So I'm like, so why isn't everyone required to get some type of identification? Why is it that the only identification that children have up to a certain age is only their birth certificate and their social security number? Literally thinking about this makes me, it makes me think about like these children are really unmarked. Like these children could move freely around the world, become untraceable, because even going into parents who have their children, when they are boarding a plane or they are boarding a ship or whatever, they don't have to show proof that these children are their children. If they're going to another country, they do, but they don't have to provide proof. They're not asking these adults for these children's ID or identification. And so it's quite creepy. And I think that's why a lot of these people that we see that have been exposed, celebrity, non-celebrities, political figures, just so happen they're part of a certain particular party. I mean, I'm going to say only that party deals with this type of stuff because I'm going to talk about something very lightly that came to the light recently, and I don't give a fuck who don't like it. Hello! Because we're going to talk about this shit, bitch, because there's two things I can't motherfucking stand is a motherfucking scammer and a motherfucking pedophile. Okay, let's talk about it. And so either way, these people are not trying to pass laws, because this is how this goes into this. These people are not passing laws to protect their secrets. They're not focused on certain groups of people like the trans community, IQ, I don't know how far it goes now. We're just going to say TIA. Okay. The TIA community, trans, in questioning associates. I don't know. Queer, to maybe call it Tika. I don't know. Trans in question queer associations. I don't know. Anyway, they're not like trying to make, flip the mirror around or make people think about what certain people are doing. And we don't want you to focus on us. We want you to focus on them. Not all of them. I think the real main focus is that people are getting into groups. People are trying to get recognized. People are trying to excel at what they're doing. And certain people are feeling like these groups of people have not done enough footwork to get these titles. Not to mention on the flip side, when you type in certain things on the internet, and that's what people got to remember too, the videos you put out, the audio you put out, the content you put out could be used against you in the court of law. It could be used against you in the court of whatever. However, if somebody wants to assess you on your mental wellness, if somebody wants to assess you on your ability to be responsible, to be, a good citizen, they can look at all of your contents that you've ever put out that came out of your own mouth, and they can determine how great of a person you are, how mentally sane you are. And that's what it comes down to. So collectively, and I posed this question even to a friend of mine who kind of don't agree with this, but like I would say, what's good for the goose is good for the gander. And I would say that, babe, at the end of the day, those who need to be hit by it will be hit by it. And those who do not need to be hit by it, they will find a way around it. And then I hope that they learn when they find their way around to stop trying to let everybody in on the bullshit, bitch, because they don't give a fuck about you and they don't care if you motherfucking excel or motherfucking win. Let's talk about it. And so as this Tika community, there are a very large percentage of people in the Tika community, TIQA, that does not, come out publicly. They don't do things in a public eye. People are not even aware of their TIQA, identity. And they're excelling. They're marvelous. They're great. They've helped pass laws. They've helped change the world in many ways. They've, programmed things. We have a lot of things in this world because of these individuals, right? And of course, like I said, they don't come out, they don't talk about it. But when you type in the Tika community, trans, in questioning, or it's intersex, trans, intersex, queer, and something else. Don't know. But the Tika community, when you type in their videos, you tend to find videos about scandalous ass things. You tend to see videos of these individuals who do not look like they're really trying to be what it is they're trying to be. Acting a certain way, doing things a certain way, bragging about how they were able to A, B, C, D, E, F, G. I mean, hell, even going along the lines of fooling people. I myself, as a person of the, Tika community, am very confident, secured in that, would never post a video about how I tricked people, brag about it, get rights about it. Get my ass beat for, possibly doing that, getting whatever done, and then coming out and being like, well, it's not fair that this person did this to me because I am who I am, blah, 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 blah. I would never do that. But there's videos of people, countless and countless and countless of videos of people doing it, talking about how they fool people. There's even a trans person right now, I'm going to keep my personal opinions to myself, but they have videos out there on an app, a particular app, that they look like, no shade, but they have an app that they're out here putting out where they're fooling these straight men into thinking that they are a cisgender woman. And I'm just like, but are you trans or are you not trans? Because that's the point of being trans. Like, you are born male, but you do not identify with your male energy at all. You may have some of the energies that come up, some of the traits that come up, just like there's cisgender women that have very masculine or manly traits, but you're not out here acknowledging that you're willing to use this type of energy to fool people. I mean, you even had trans people out here talk about being the first sex change to have an abortion during the time where we were mourning and kind of grieving for these women who were told, right? And it wasn't just the women who, by choice go out and screw a lot of people, get pregnant and ABO their babies. Okay. We have people who innocently had things done to them, people that were brought into certain things, people that were abducted and tricked and, violated in the most brutal way, who are, were forced to keep their children. And that right there, we were mourning that. And then right here in this moment, you had people, and it was only particular people, girl. You didn't see black trans people doing this, by the way. It was white trans people. We're going to call a spade a motherfucking spade. It was white motherfucking trans people coming out talking about they were going to get a sex change, get a baby, and they were going to be the first one in history to abort their motherfucking baby. And in my mind, I'm like, at that point, as a trans person, bitch, you need to be motherfucking God. Bitch, and that's what I'm motherfucking for. At that point, girl, that whatever they have in store for you, bitch, you need to motherfucking get every bit of that shit. Because you're mocking, and people may see this as, as what it is and what it ain't, but you're already somebody who are not, that's not a part of the party. So you're already trying to like imitate being a woman. This is what people are sitting on the outside. And then it'd be like, well, I'm even going to go further with the mockery. And I'm going to actually have a sex change, which I don't see that happening at all for this individual or these individuals. But I'm going to have a sex change. I'm going to get pregnant and I'm going to take out my baby. I mean, at the end of the day, you kind of just, prove the point where a lot of men don't really give a fuck about children. And that's why we have an issue now in society. So you're kind of proving to the world that you as this so-called trans person still identifying your male way. You as a trans person still see yourself as a man. And you only want to do these things to mock women. Because a lot of men feel the exact same way. They don't want to deal with children. They possibly want to produce them for a particular reason, but they don't want to be with them. They don't want to be around them. They don't want to help raise them. And that's what that's what that is. So it's like at the end of the day, it's always about, the truth coming out. And that's a lot of people don't really want to admit to. The truth coming out. People seeing things for what it is, calling a spade a motherfucking spade. People calling fuck the dumb shit, let it go, let it flow type of thing. And people, they're only focused on us because they have their own secrets and they don't want to deal with it. No, that's not true. They're focusing on what they're focusing on because just so happen you type in a certain group of people, which I'm sure a lot of us have done, we see this fuck the bad shit. So we're going to address that. Yes, eventually, I do feel like everybody's going to get God. I do feel like eventually everybody's going to be God. But a lot of people are not forced to take accountability and responsibility for their own actions. First off, you want a lot of people who are DL. You want a lot of people who are secretive. You want a lot of people, and that's what I said as a sex worker. Let me pace myself because there's so much I want to say, but I know I have a certain amount of time. As a sex worker, as somebody who was not out here scamming clients, as someone who was not out here using this as a way to get off my own kinks and my own fetishes, my own sexual attractions and desires, I was considered a therapist. A lot of people have fantasies and ideas. A lot of people oppressed feelings that they had their whole life. And they were strong enough and brave enough to maintain their composure and not act out on these feelings in a bad way. A lot of times, y'all, we have crimes that happen in this world, like, SAs and child, violations, because these are closeted case situations. These are men and women who want to be with the same sex, the same gender, somehow, some way. And they are ostracized. They're going to be called faggot. They're going to be called sissy. They're going to be called punk. They're going to be called whatever they may have in a book for these people. And they would rather, instead of being called that, they'd rather have a secret behind the scenes, get their little kinks and shit on. And a lot of times it opens up other avenues for desires and ideas. And just so happen they violate innocent people. So they, violate humans, men, women, and children. And so as a, adult worker, as a sex worker, as people called me in the past, that was my role. And I didn't ask for that role. I just became a part of that because that was something I kind of had feelings about. I kind of had remorse about, y'all. I didn't grow up, being violated. I didn't grow up in a horrible home. I didn't grow up being abused, being, all this other good stuff. So I did not join the adult industry because it was like, oh my God, I just love this. I love that. Oh my God, this, I'm looking for something. I'm craving something. I really saw it as people wanted something from me. And I was like, well, baby, I can use what I have to get what I need. I can use what I have to get what I want. And that's what it came down to. So I had a little bit of remorse in the beginning, and I would say even in the middle. And I had to see my therapist about it. And my own therapist was like, I see you as a therapist. I see you as a counselor for these people. I see you as these people coming to you. They act out their role, their fantasy, and then they're done. And that is so true. They acted out. We met up. They had these ideas. They talked about their feelings. They talked about what they were into. And that's where I learned in the dot industry as well that a lot of these people are just talk, right? A lot of these people, they'll talk about how they want to do this for you, do that for you romantically, and they don't. But it's okay. Accept what they got, and that's why you motherfucking charge they motherfucking ass. See, that's what I say. Ain't nobody really dumb in this, but people who are doing it just to do it. You out here thinking you playing these people, I got a piece of trade, I'm about to turn them out, and you not charging this motherfucker. That's why these people be getting away with shit. This is why these people be acting out on shit, and they be doing the shit because, baby, they be acting out their fantasies and their roles, and they're not held responsible. So because they're not held responsible, now they feel like they can be disrespected and get out of line. There's no discipline. And that's the reason why I took on the role as the femme dom. And so, like I said, there's a lot of issues with that. And it's not that people are trying to, look in the mirror and say, well, I'm a homosexual, so now I got to pass laws to shut down homosexuals. I really think that it's a lot with a lot. I do feel like a lot of them could be linked to that because of the, pedophilic, type of situations and all these, violations they've had. But on the other hand, when you look at these groups of people, the Tika community as one, you look this up and you're like, well, I don't really see these women trying to actually be who they say they are. I see nothing but, disrespect, people, doing scandalous ass shit, not really giving a fuck. And that's just it, not taking accountability and responsibility for who they are as a whole. And so, bitch, what they say, majority rules, just like if you were to see, and like I said, I posed this question to a friend of mine. If you saw people that were purple with blue polka dots, and they were always in social media about something, or people are always talking bad about these people, whether it's true or false, because you never had an interaction with these people, when you do become, or you do be connected with these people, and you do actually have a chance to meet these people, yes, you're going to look at this person as, oh, this is a good person. Oh, whatever. But in the back of your mind, you're going to say, you know what? Maybe I need to move a certain way because I have seen these people in the media a lot. I have seen these people do certain things, blah, blah, blah. And so that's just how it is. That's just how our brain works. And so the same thing with a lot of this shit. When you see a lot of fuckery, when you see a lot of, fucked up ass shit put out about a particular community, you cannot help but to assess and or to determine already how you're going to treat that community. And so I do feel like a large percentage of people who hate certain people, like people who are racist, they really want to be black or they want to fuck on black people. I do feel that. Just like I feel like a lot of people who hate on the LGBT community or the Tika community, because, it keeps going on and on and on and on and on and on and on, whatever. Like I said, that's their business, not mine. They don't pay my bills. Okay. Listen. What they got going on, that's their business. As long as they ain't touching children or scamming people, okay? Anywho, because then it becomes my motherfucking business. But yeah, you look this shit up, and like I said, they have a big certainty about them, and that's just what it is. So like I said, it's not people, majority of it, it's not people attacking because they feel like this is their story and they want to, shine the light on it. It's really, once again, people are obsessed with certain groups. That's where I was going with that. People are obsessed with certain people, and it comes off as hate, but they really like it. They really love it. Because if somebody don't like certain type of energy, they're not gonna fuck with it. Like myself, I don't like certain type of people, y'all. We have not talked about this in years, and I'm not gonna bring it up now. There's certain type of people I don't like, but guess what? There's two things you're never gonna see me do unless it pertains to the public, like pedophiles. I hate motherfucking pedophiles to all motherfucking degrees, because they fuck people up. And that's why we have fucking serial killers. This is why we have fucking abusers. We have men and women who cannot form healthy fucking relationships. We have a lot of single and unmarried people. We have people that are fucking traumatized because they've been motherfucking violated when they were at a very young age. And that's the motherfucking problems we motherfucking have. That's one of the main things that fucking drive this shit. And right, and that's my belief on that. And so it's like, girl, it's a lot. But people, like I said, they touch on things, not all, but some. They touch on things because they feel like that's who they are, and they either want to be it or they want to be with it, but they're afraid they're going to be ostracized, picked on, fucked with. And that's why they're like, well, instead of me acting upon it, let me get my frustration out with trying to fight this person or try to fuck this person up. Going back into this and kind of looping back around to all this, because this all go hand in hand. It's all about spells, incantations, and rituals that are being done. And we have something called word magic, right? A lot of people are not even aware of just how simple but yet effective your words are. That's why we have to speak to ourselves kindly. You know, when you're out and about and you're doing things, and I kind of try to get on my friend about this, you know, one of my sisters, shout out to her, and, you know, she's like, girl, you always bring me up. Well, I have to, because this is my, you know, this is a part of my personal, you know, interaction. But I would get, you know, I would kind of remind her to kind of change the way she's thinking, the way she's speaking to herself. And of course, she speaks to herself kindly and wise and polite, y'all. She's humble, she's beautiful, she's successful, and she's happy and definitely healthy. On the flip side to that, when you're in your vehicle, you guys, and you're in traffic and somebody cuts you off and you're not trying to get their attention to let them know, hey, you're in the wrong, like via, you know, honking the horn or rolling around down and saying, motherfucker, woo, 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 woo. But instead, your windows are rolled up, you're in thought, and you're like, I can't believe your motherfucking ass just did this, fucking weirdo, and they cannot hear you. You're actually talking to yourself. So what is happening is your brain is rewiring itself because it's hearing you say, fuck you, you fucking weirdo. And now you become very sensitive to certain things. So when people say certain things that may not affect you or may not be directed towards you, now you're becoming very sensitive to it, where you're like, did you just call me? Blah, 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 blah. And it's like, girl, you don't even look like that. You're not even a part of that. I just called somebody a blonde head, silly bitch. You got dark ass hair and you're not even blonde, but yet you took offense to that. But it's because you're speaking to yourself so bad. You're speaking to yourself indirectly without you even knowing it. And your brain is assuming that everything that deals with that is about you. And so that's why you're responding to that in a certain way. And so that goes with a lot. And of course, I brought that up as an example. This is why we have to be very polite, right? And fuck other people. If people are rude to you, be rude to them. But I'm not, like I said, I'm not going to be in my home. I'm not going to be in my car. I'm not going to be using my inside voice reading people down, because I know that I'm hearing myself first. And so if I'm not addressing and saying Tom, or I'm not calling out someone's name and they're not responding, you know, my brain knows, okay, bitch, you're not talking to me. My systems know that I'm not self-inflicting. I'm not directing it to myself. That's why, once again, we acknowledge, we give people, hi, Rob, hey, Paul, hey, whatever. They get, you know, you got their attention, or they look at you, they acknowledge you, then you start engaging with them. And see, that's how we do that, right? And that's one of the reasons why we do that. So we have to be mindful, like I said, how we speak to ourselves and what we're doing when we're in the privacy of our own company. Because most of the time, we're fucking ourselves up. We think we're fucking other people up. And this also deals with our self-esteem. A lot of people feel incompetent. A lot of people feel incompetent about certain things. It's not because people told them they were nothing. Because a lot of us, we grew up in a household where our parents told us that we could be anything we want to be. Our parents actually molded us to be the best thing we possibly could be. They supported us in every decision we made, whether it was wrong or right. But as an adult, we still lack the confidence into, you know, fulfilling our duties as responsible adults or as responsible human beings. And once again, it's not what other people have done to us. It's what we've done to ourselves. It's how we speak to ourselves. Have we forgiven ourselves for certain things? And that's what it comes down to, you know, period, right? And so even going inside, like I said, there's a lot of spellbounds. There's a lot of, you know, word match that's been, you know, put out, and even stories being told where people will take stories that they're told and they will really stretch it. Like a lot of people, we've seen stories, you guys, we've seen ideas, right? We've seen, you know, depictions of situations. Because I heard a story, y'all, very lightly the other day, where they were saying that Christopher Columbus made multiple trips to America, right? And he'd been to multiple places. And allegedly he went to this indigenous place with native people to this land, who's been native to this land for thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of years. And allegedly, Christopher Columbus was trying to, you know, him and his sailors, they were hungry, they were starving. And so they got to these people, and they knew that the equinox was coming, or not the equinox. They knew that the eclipse was coming. And so They, Christopher Columbus and his people told these native people, if you don't give us no food, our God is going to punish y'all and he's going to turn the moon red. So, of course, these people are like, no, fuck you. We've hunted enough food for us. If you don't know, that's how the natives, they hunted. They hunted in the season based on what they were going to need, because hunting took time. Sometimes they were out for 30 days. Sometimes they were out for 2 or 3 days. Hunting, y'all, gathering these things, right? Because they didn't have navigation. And so, they were like, fuck you, motherfucker. All we got is the food that we got for us. We got a lot of people feel, I'm sorry, that's all we got. Well, y'all, how he took control over these people, the eclipse happened, the moon turned red, the people panicked, they came to him and said, listen, tell your God to reverse all this and we'll share these crops, we'll share these foods with you. And that's what happened. And so he got control of these people, and that's how he was able to captivate them, capture them, right? And so this is a story that they allege that is actually documented. And it had me thinking, because I was like, I've never heard that story. I've never heard that story. The story was the pilgrimage, or the pilgrims came here. They started introducing certain tonics to certain tribal people. These people were sensitive to certain things like alcohol because they did not do alcohol. They did not make alcohol. They smoked herbs. They ate with herbs. So their bodies became insensitive or became tolerant to herbs and certain, the natural stuff. But these pilgrims, they were not really into the herbs like that. They were into making like tonics and stuff with grains and stuff, alcohol and all that shit. So that's how they fucking got to people drunk. They got them drunk and they got, they got over on them. And so that's what I heard as stories. That's what I've read as stories. So I was like, this had me thinking about a lot of stuff though. Like even going into like, Black Americans being held captive in this country. And they always tried to spin the narrative that Black people are just these incompetent, weak individuals. And I never understood why people never wanted to oppose this. I never understood why Black people in America wanted to kind of stand up to this, why they never really questioned this, why they made you think that these people who fought with lions, tigers, and bears, because allegedly, and this is true to a degree, the Vikings were not the people that came over here and conquered, by the way, the African Americans and the indigenous people. This is a whole nother type of white. Let's talk about it. If you want to get down, we get down. It was a whole nother type of people. But the Vikings, several hundred years ago, was out here wrestling bears and mountain lions and shit and polar bears and things that are extinct now. So they could have definitely tussled with the modern day 300, 400-year-old, years ago, African man or African woman. The modern day Europeans at that time would have not been able to wrestle with these zebra chasing tigers, lion. Girl, like, you're not going to convince me that these people who possibly fought with wild hogs, who possibly fought with some type of wildlife like snakes, badgers, raccoons, possums, right? Possibly could go in and captivate people who was out here sleeping with lions, who was out here sleeping with fucking hyenas and shit, girl, hunting fucking wild ass animals, girl, that honestly are considered apex predators. You're not going to convince me of that. And then to make me say that these people was in this land, that they're in tune with the seasons. They're in tune with how the earth operates. They're in tune with how things work, that they cannot say, well, let's figure out on our own how to get from point A to point B. You make me think these people, you're trying to convince me that these people were held in captive, right, for all these years, and nobody ever fought back. They didn't get nobody together. They didn't come through and take away the whole bloodline, especially going into, a lot of people want to talk about voodoo and hoodoo, that these people were practicing voodoo and hoodoo. So their voodoo wasn't that powerful 300, 400 years ago. What happened to the voodoo and hoodoo now? It should be even stronger, because you have more weapons and more things to help you get these people together. You should be doing bigger and greater things than they were doing 300, 400 years ago. if that's really the story you believe, because I don't believe that. Like I said, we gave my personal opinion about what I feel about magic influences and what I feel really happened, what I feel really didn't happen. But this goes into spellbounding. This goes into them telling you stories. People believe in it. People didn't experience it. People don't have any personal stories. They don't have a direct word from their grandmother telling this is what I encountered, this is what I experienced. I was not a domesticated worker, servant, whatever. And so they took this on as themselves, and now they're acting a certain way. And it even steams over into, because like I said, there's so much we go over that I feel like it's a part of this. It even goes over into the modern day. No, not modern day. It even goes over into how people are blaming other people for things that they're not having. Well, we could say it's modern. We could say it's modern. It goes over into people blaming other people over what they do not have. Right? It's their own choice that they've made. They decided to lay with certain people, intertwine with certain people. And yet they would say, well, I'm not with this person because the white man really didn't allow it. And these people have been in the projects for the past 40, 50 years. So the white man actually came into the projects and the white man actually said, no, we need to make sure you're not dating other black people like yourself. So we're going to punish you and punish him for this. Like, is there anybody out there that can really attest that their dad or their grandpa was locked up because he was with he was with your grandma, and just because of that, because they wanted to break that up? Can someone really come out and talk about that? Because I think this be speculation, this be spells that people be out here talking about. And even going into the modern, not modern, but Mandela effect. Y'all, it has come to my attention that the Mandela effect is nothing more than brainwashing. It's nothing more than society fucking up the mind and making the mind collectively think that something happened when it didn't happen. So let me tell you something, y'all, and I've been kind of getting into this lately. Something that I saw, this was probably 3 or 4 years ago, y'all, where they were talking about since the 1999. Remember 1999 came, everybody was like, oh, the world's going to end. Because a lot of the Mandela effects seem to go back into the 90s, y'all, or the motherfucking 80s. But most of them is in the 90s, which I think is kind of weird. Right? Right. This made me start thinking about this. Right? Stay with me. I'm going to try to keep this under 2 minutes. Stay with me. So in 1999, they alleged that the world was going to be ended because allegedly the computer that compute things was, it couldn't go past 1999, right? It couldn't go past 1999. So allegedly they thought the world was going to end. And I also found out that was a lie as well, because I think in the 1930s or 40s, somebody predicted, I guess we have little microchips or something that computes electronics. So let's say when electricity first came about, they had these little chips that produce let's say for a good example, power of 1K. Then when they start making more electrically charged things, you guys, these things started growing. They started computing stronger and stronger and stronger. So allegedly, one of these programmers said in the 60s or the 70s that as time go on and they see time, people evolving for at least the next, few thousand years, a few hundred years, one or the other, that things are going to be computing so quickly that we're going to see new stuff just come out. And we do see that, y'all. We're seeing new phones come out every 3 months now. We're seeing more advanced TV, more advanced computers, more advanced refrigerators, more advanced electronics. Girl, this all just some type of chip being computed. So although they were telling us in 1999 that the computers could not, or they did not see the numbers going above, and y'all, this is not verbatim, but that's why the war was going to be ending. They was already expecting for the world not to end, but that something else was going to take over. So also during this time, we also had the Matrix that came out and the Terminator. Well, Terminator been out since the 80s. But after we also had the Matrix coming out and also, displaying the computer chip, which is also part of programming, by the way. Regardless if Sophia Stewart wrote it or not, it's all about programming. So when 1999 hit, y'all, allegedly the world did end, and it did end a certain degree because they were talking about that every generation prior to 2000 had its own identity, which is true. You could look up history. prior to this, if people have old magazine covered, whatever, or they have books telling you what the style was in 1920, 1930, 1940, 1950, 1960, y'all, from 1901 to 1999, every decade has added its own style and its own type of improvement. When the year 2000 hits on up, like 2000 to 2010, 2020, now we're in 2021, 2030, we're almost 30 years after the year 2000, everything has been the exact same. If you look at old footages, old TV shows, you would know if this TV show was filmed in 2000 or 1997. And so that's what this book, or that's what this video was actually pointing out. Is that so our brain somehow, some way in this whole reality, y'all, started getting looped. Because remember, the world's supposed to end in 1999. Then they're supposed to be saying the world's going to end in 2012, which something did in a certain system ended. But in 2005, we had this great catastrophe that happened that just threw people off at one of the most spiritual meccas of the world. Like I said, stay with me. Okay, allegedly flooded things out, took people out. A lot of people actually went. That was an energetic sacrifice. Okay, and then we had 7 years later, 2012, where other things shifted. So at this point, people are already thinking about, wow, I feel like I'm in some type of time warp. I'm in some type of time machine. I'm getting trapped in some type of frequency. As time went on, y'all, this is 2012. 5 years after 2012 is 2017. Everybody started talking about the Mandela effect. We're working with 5s. We're working with 7s. Altogether, we're working with 12, which comes to 3. So they are coding people to believe that things existed that did not motherfucking exist. And people are saying, oh, it's a time thing. It's a CERN thing. Y'all, they have, once again, if all of your other historical events have not been bamboozled, if you have not been tricked into thinking that the shit actually happened, if you have not been trained mentally to create some type of false reality, because it even goes into the phone game. Y'all, this is in real time within 10 minutes. We can all be in a room. We can play the telephone game. Better yet, we can say this 2 ways. We can all be playing a telephone game. We can all be in a room with a professor. And the professor is saying the exact same thing. He's not changing his words. He's not speaking on how he's saying it. He's saying the exact same way. And everybody who's in this room heard it. 1,000 people heard it. Do you know that if you come to each one of those 1,000 people and say, what did you get when the professor was talking about eggs and ham? Each one of those 1,000 people will have a different version of what the professor said. Now, some people, there might end up being like 100 people that might share the same story. So we're going to say there's going to be 10 sets of, that's 100 times 10, individuals having the exact same story. Now, they may, the variation may change a little bit, but it's going to be very similar. That's how our history is told. That's how our events are being told. That's how people who are not there to actually see it, and we're seeing this even now play out, how news, media are, they're here to, spew narratives, and they're going to talk about a certain thing to get certain people hooked into certain things, and that's it. We're seeing it right here, right now. And so that's what came to me, where I was like, so these people, the Berenstein Bears, the Berenstein Bears, the Kazams and all that stuff, I'm like, no, there's not a Mandela effect with that. Because even honestly, thinking about this here right now, even honestly thinking about it now, who's actually focused enough on the peanut butter? Who's actually focused enough on the pizza? Who actually focused enough on the Kit Kat? Who's actually focused enough, girl, with all the trauma, y'all? We suffer from PTSD as a collectiveness. As a collectiveness, we suffer from PTSD without trying to trigger people. We have dealt with so much trauma since the year 2001, because we didn't forget about the 9/11 events neither. See how all this work? We have been through so much trauma collectively, right? That we lose track of things. We're not thinking about things that are not that important to us. So of course, in not thinking about it, of course, in not being in your head, it's not being on your brain. You're not processing it constantly. You miss it for 30 days, you guys, and you come back. That's just like y'all watching a movie. Can we talk about it? Or is this too much for y'all? Or y'all not ready for this type of teaching? It's like watching a movie, y'all, that came out in 1999. You have this movie, you own this movie, you decide to pop this movie in, and you watch this movie again for like the 50,000th time. And you've seen it so many times, y'all. You watched it from front to back. You studied it. All of a sudden, it's 50,000th time you watch this movie, and mysteriously you notice a line in this movie that you were like, wait, he said that? Or wait a minute, he did that? I don't remember this. Girl, you're going to try to convince that the government altered, just somehow, some way, got your videotape, altered a scene in the movie, came back to your house, put the videotape there, and now you're seeing something that's not really there? Or you've seen something that wasn't always there? Like, that's how this should have worked. So it's not a special thing that has happened. And a lot of places feed into this, y'all, that there is a Mandela effect. There is a certain thing. We're giving these people and things too much power. We're giving these people and things too much acknowledgement. If there was a way, because they were trying to impose that maybe, and I saw this recently where time did end, people did pass away, but because we're all stuck in this little, purgatory, we're not seeing this. And I'm just like, girl, if we all ended, girl, let's all end it in peace. If it's all been over, girl, let's let it go then. Maybe that's why people really don't want to seek therapy. Maybe that's why people really don't want to get help for what they need help with. Maybe that's why people really don't want to solve issues they need to be solved. Instead of that, they want to worry about what other people are doing. They want to focus on other things instead of focus on what they need to be focused on. Maybe that's what's really the issue. They don't want to face, they don't want to work on, they don't want to face the fact that their time is up. And that's what it has come down for me. And even going into the alien stuff, y'all, because this is a part of speculations, exaggerations, exacerbations, and people making up shit and make people think that shit is real. Or people are like, I do believe it's real. Well, if you also believe in magic and you also believe in aliens, why not do magical rituals for these aliens to come and take you, abduct you out of the system so where you don't have to deal with the everyday tasks that people are dealing with, the mundane world, the people who believe in this stuff, but they're not being touched and tampered with. If you really believe in this type of stuff, I believe, and I know this to be true, and we're not going to get into that the whole alien thing is government, is code for something. And this is why a lot of things happen. This is why a lot of things go in. It's people experimenting, y'all. You don't think that they have to have test dummies? One good example, and I'm going to be done with this. Y'all, there are people out there. Ooh, wait, I thought I was done. Wait, we're going to talk about something else very lightly because it's going to get into that. Y'all, you don't think that there's... Okay, they have test dummies, right? They call them test dummies, where people will design things. They will hire people to test this product out, and you have to sign a disclosure. I understand this is a test. Something happened to me. I'm okay, not okay, but I can't sue. I'm aware of the possible side effects. I'm aware of the possible, interactions, possibilities I'm gonna have doing this. But I'm still down to do it. You have to sign this release form. Y'all, we have collectively and indirectly consented to a lot of tests. We have directly and indirectly consented to a lot of tests. One of them is the CR19 injections, and that's your tea, not mine. I'm somebody who was not vaccinated, proudly to say. But you experimented with that, and you see what happened. You see what happened with that. But I'm just saying. But that's what it is. We have consented to being experimented on. Everybody, y'all, that seem to have had some type of experience with these aliens, they're not in a city. They're not in an area with a lot of people. They're out in the middle of nowhere. Do you not know that the government has every location in America? Let's say America. We don't have undiscovered land in America. We don't have undiscovered land. We have land that people cannot go on, including the government. Yes, we do. We have that as well. But we do not have unsurveyed land in America. So these governments know longitude, latitude, pinpoint, waypoint every area of this country. You don't think that maybe if you get a little too close to something, let's say spectacular, let's say there's a mound of gold somewhere, there's a mound of a mineral that's so dangerous that it can wipe out a whole civilization of people. So they kind of have this area secured. You don't think that they already have some type of acknowledge, some type of sensor that goes off, y'all, to where they know that people are entering into the certain area, maybe even going into consenting, because we have, once again, it's political parties. The government, the congressman, every city, every county has a townsman, a councilman, a congressman, what they call it, a mayor. These people know what be going on in the upper end of the government. You don't think they'd be like, yeah, we have about 300 people in here that don't have a high school education. We got about 250 people in here that never married, that suffer from some type of psychological issue, that have a family history of, schizophrenia or whatever. You could definitely come up here and experiment with these people. And they all of a sudden, girl, got this little girl. Nobody else see it, girl. Just mysteriously, the aliens know this is where we're going to drop at. We're going to drop right here in Montana. We're going to go down here. We're going to abduct. And just like that just happened, they're abducting the people in that thing. They're only abducting people of a particular race. They only are abducting and interacting with people of a particular educational background. Can we talk about it? And then they try to say recently, like I want to say 1950s and 60s, because I guess every decade they have their own little alien interaction. They have a different type of story. And if you look in that story, there was an agenda for that decade. And just so happened that the alien abduction or the alien interaction dealt with that agenda. Y'all don't find that kind of odd? Like the government had an agenda, but the aliens took over the agenda? So I'm like, maybe I should be asking for these aliens to come and, save you from what's going on now. Can you also connect the Latika community and all these other people, the immigrants, with the aliens, y'all? Can y'all also, introduce them, girls, so they can be protected from what's going on in this country? Anyway, as a side note, y'all, I was telling people this. Let's talk about word magic. Your president said that when he get in office, he was going to start disclosing, he was going to have alien UFO disclosure, right? Didn't he say that? Alien, y'all, back in the day was used to describe illegal or undocumented immigrants. Back in the day, I never heard illegal immigrant. They always say alien. That's an alien. He's an alien. When I went to school, we had a special bus that would actually pick up these undocumented immigrants and their children, right? Because some of them were, how would I say? The children of people who are here legally and people who came here as children. They were able to go to school still. They got on a bus and they would come and drop them off. They had their own little bus. Girl, they would say the alien bus. And y'all, this is like the early 2000s, the alien, late 90s, early 2000s. The aliens are here, the alien buses, y'all. That's how they identified these people. And then at a certain period, I don't know exactly when this happened. Maybe I have to look this up, where they actually started saying undocumented or illegal immigrant. And they only use that very lightly. Now, y'all, even before this person got in office, he said alien disclosure was going to be released when he got in office. And then people were calling at that time the illegal immigrants or undocumented immigrants, right? Stay with me. Once he got in office, or close to the time he got in office, now the media start calling the immigrants aliens. Aliens, 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 right? And then they went back to calling them undocumented once he actually got in office. When it was leading up to the office, they were saying aliens. And then they start going into undocumented immigrants or people who overstayed their welcome. And I want to say this is like the last 3 or 4 months of him getting into office. And then once they got in office, y'all, they don't call illegal immigrants aliens anymore. They call them illegal immigrants. And I was telling this to somebody. I saw when he said aliens as he was about to come and fuck these people up. The whole disclosure was it was code for, we're going to get these undocumented people together. When I get in office, ICE, don't worry about it. We're going to get these people together. And this is what it was. The main world, the brainwashed, the manipulative, the manipulated, the easily influenced individuals, collective consciousness, they thought he was about to come out and talk about, yeah, they found a ship over New Mexico. There's a ship right now in Mount Shasta. That's what they were hoping for. Girl, when this man got in office and he started getting Haitian immigrants together, Mexican immigrants together, Colombian immigrants together, Salvadorian immigrants together, girl, these kids gagged. And I said, I knew that's what he was talking about. Ain't no way you're going to convince me that. Anyway, we're going to stop that because we'll get into some deep tea, girl. And we're not getting into that. I just knew what this man was going with that. And y'all, it's listen, look what's going on. So he definitely did put out alien disclosure. You know, no Timber He did put out alien disclosure. There was something else I was going to say to y'all, but I guess I'm not going to go into that because, I was going to say something, honey, and I was like, whatever, maybe it's not important. Maybe it's not important, girl. We'll come back and we'll do it, honey. I need to get out here and do what I got to do, get my car together so they can take my car to motherfucking shop, girl. Get done what they got to get done, girl, so I can be done, okay? Anyway, go on. Let me see what's up in here before I motherfucking go, honey. Let's talk about it. Shalonda Smith. Yes, honey. What are your views on 7-day candle magic? Love 7-day candle magic. I think that people who are, let's talk about this, Shalonda Smith. People do not know or they do not understand. Let's get to the basics of this. You have tea light candles that burn for 45 minutes. You have some that even burn for an hour. You have some that even burn for 4 hours. Then you have the next size up, I call them jumbo tea lights. They burn for 6 to 8 hours. Then you have the votives. Then you have the skinny tapers. You have the pillars. Each candle, you guys, burns a certain amount of hours, which also deals with computing of energy. So the size of the candle does deal with energy. If you have a big ass candle, that means that big ass candle has a lot of big ass energy. If you have a little ass candle, that means that candle has a little ass energy. When it goes into rituals, a lot of people use like 23 tea lights, 25 tea lights, 17 tea lights. Because, and of course you're going to say, well, the candles deal with energy. Why are they using 23 tea lights instead of just getting 2 big ass pillars and call it a day? Because, my friends, my fellow mystics, my associates, my haters, this deals with focus. This deals with how much focus you can give that energy. Tea lights are used for people who want to have energy, but they cannot focus their time and energy for 7 days, 21 hours, 24 hours, 72 hours, 115 hours. They don't have that type of focus. And this goes even 2 ways. Even going into, so that's why they use 23 tea lights instead of getting 2 big ass pillars and using the exact same energy, because it probably will even equate to 1 big ass pillar. Like that burns 120 hours. It's the same amount of tea. But the whole time that candle is going, they have to be able to focus on their desire. And you cannot have no type of distractions. That's another reason why we have pillars that you could snuff out. People who want to do long rituals, but they cannot focus for 7 days straight, because the whole time while that candle is burning, you're supposed to be focusing on what you're desiring, by the way. People who have a lot going on, they would get the pillar, they would light the pillar, and they would let the pillar burn down for 2 hours. They'll snuff it out, and then they could continue about their business. And that actually becomes more powerful, y'all, because you're literally adding your thoughts in each time that you snuff it out and you light it. So it's undisturbed, undisturbed. It's directly focused on what you're desiring. When it comes to the 7 day like that, you have to really focus on that whole time that candle burning, only on what you're wanting. A lot of people fuck themselves up, and that's how a lot of people feel like they get money and then they lose money when they do money rituals. And it's not because that's the law of balance. It's really because while you were doing your money ritual stuff, you wasn't only focusing on you getting that money. You were also thinking about, what am I going to do when I get this money? Oh, shit, I have to. Whether it was for a long time or a short time, you still thought about. Hold on, let me open this. Let's see right here. Let some air in, honey. But you still thought about it. And so that's what it is. 7 day candles are for people who can focus for 7 days. When we're talking about 7 days continuously, when we're talking about 7 days of the candles burning, yes. If you're not able to focus for the 7 days, you need to get you a pillar so you can snuff out. Come back to it when you can, light it, focus 2 hours, let it go, keep it pushing. Yeah. Because now you're gonna fuck yourself up. So that's my opinion on 7 day candles. Okay. That's my opinion on that, honey. I always looked at Lucifer as a god more than a demon or devil. Well, Lucifer is definitely a god, just like you're a god. What a lot of people don't understand, the whole story about the fallen angels are stories about human beings, and maybe not human beings directly, but your energy. And that's why you're here on earth. So they were cast into earth. They were not cast into hell. The only one that's in hell right now, locked up, and people who wanted to follow that individual potentially will be there, is when the second death comes, which is Judgment Day. Right now, people are not in hell. That's why I kind of laugh when people be out there talking about they're Christian and they went to hell and they saw Aaliyah and all that. Girl, you are blasphemous to the Lord, thy God, and y'all are getting fucked up in the spirit. And as I said, I don't believe a lot of Christians. I think a lot of you people are mockery, you're foolish, you're stupid, in my opinion. You know, Jesus, when you're a Christian, you do what Jesus did. When Jesus went to Rome, Jesus did what the Romans did. He studied the Romans. He walked like the Romans. He spoke like the Romans. Y'all motherfucking ass take y'all ass in motherfucking Rome, Africa, Nigeria, whatever, and you think you still gonna be a motherfucking American over there. That's all y'all got. You don't get no spiritual protection like that. Y'all be out here pimping these people out. Oh, I believe in. No, that's why y'all get fucked up, because y'all not really following Christ. So definitely Lucifer is a god versus a demon, but demon doesn't mean that they're not God, because angelic people are also considered gods as well. Michael's considered a god. Can we talk about it? Or is it a little too deep for y'all? So you were cast out of heaven down to motherfucking earth, aka the temporary hell. And this is why you are doing good deeds. You're born into sin. You're born to do evil things. This world is evil. When people, oh, this world is so evil. Yeah, bitch, you were thrown out of motherfucking heaven. You damn right, bitch, this world is motherfucking evil. You, though, you as an individual are protected as long as you walk in the motherfucking light. You are tested. You are giving trials and tribulations to see how God worthy you are, and not God worthy to worship and venerate this other God, because now we're getting into some type of narcissistic behavior. But for you to assess and to awaken the God or goddess energy within you to where you say, you know what? I'm not going to be bounded by the rules of this earth. I'm not going to be bounded by what they got us to do down here, because this is how I lost my grace in the first place. This is how I lost my grace in the first place. I did things collectively on my own energy. And if you're not reminded in your fingerprints, if you're not reminded in your hair, if you're not reminded in your body shape, if you're not reminded in your blood, because my blood is different from my mama's blood. My blood is different from my brother's and sister's blood. Even if I had a twin and we were born in the exact same motherfucking sack, we still have different things that differentiates us, that makes us different. We have traits within our blood to where they know that that's not my blood or that is my blood. So you are unique. You are a different type of god or goddess. And this is why you're here. So you fall short of the glory. You fell short of the glory. And now you're trying to find your way back. As Beyonce said, come on, y'all need to listen to Beyonce, find your way back. Wake up. Wake up. Okay? We're much bigger. She said that living is your birthright. They hit that in the fine print. This is why committing self-harm to yourself and to other people are considered the greatest sins. All sins are equal except for taking yourself out and taking somebody else out. Can we talk about it? Because it's precious. You are a god. You are a goddess. It doesn't matter if you're black, white, Hispanic, Asian. You came here to be tested. Now, we could say when it comes to hierarchy, who's a higher god? Who's a greater God, and it's he who endures the most, but still motherfucking does not sell out. It's he who go through the motherfucking fire and make it out motherfucking whole. That's who's the strongest. It's not who fucking went through the fire, who became addicted to the motherfucking crack, who became a motherfucking alcoholic, who became a motherfucking pimp, and decided to repent. That became the strongest God, that is considered the strongest God. It's he who went through all that shit, but decided not to become a part of that. That's who become the strongest God. That's who excel. That's who becomes closer to their crownness. That's become closer to their king and their queendom shit. So you're right. Lucifer is definitely a god, just like you're a god. But you get it fucked up when you think that Lucifer is greater than you. You get it fucked up when you think that any creature, Raphael, Dianel, Adonai, is greater than you. When the same energy that's within you is in them. It's the same energy, girl. Energy is not created or destroyed. Come on in here. So you are equal to all the energies that you venerate. And that's where people get it fucked up at. Bitch, I'm not surrendering. I'm not bowing down. I'm not kissing ass. I'm going to be respectful and say, show me the way. I lost my way. Show me the way. I don't remember who I am. Show me who I am. I'm going to be respectful and be in a collaboratory state or a collaborative state. But I'm not going to bow down and kiss your motherfucking ass. Because the world have everything that you're the greatest thing. Oh, you owe it all to God. Or you should be grateful that God gave you a chance to see. Oh, baby, we were all a part of that committee at one point. We were all a part of that council at one point, if you want to keep it real. But you got dethroned. You got thrown the fuck out because your ego got out of motherfucking line. You thought you were greater than the motherfucking next person. And that's what we're experiencing right now. You're thinking because you're white or you're a man that you're greater than when you're really not. And that's why we're all getting fucked up right now. Bitch, this is not the devil playing games on you. This is not you realizing that God is not real. This is you waking up to who the fuck you really are. Bitch, you've been here before. You just got to wake the fuck up. And hoes want to shut up people like me because that's what we're here for. We're not here to fucking pitty patty titty watty keep you in the motherfucking slumber and we playing fucking sleepovers all the motherfucking time. We're here to say, bitch, it's time to wake up. We've been dealing with this shit much too long, girl. It's time to wake up, exit the fuck out, and keep it pushing. But you're so infatuated with, the alien story. That sounds so intriguing to me. Oh my God, y'all. I love the new iPhone. Oh my God, y'all, the Teslas. I want to stay here. I'm so stuck here. Yeah, go ahead. So you're going to pass away and come on down. You're going to go and you're going to keep coming back down. Yeah, go ahead, girl. Get trapped within the gates. Get stuck within the gates, baby. That's your business, not mine. But that's what it comes down to. Okay. What do they have this story mostly new? Where do they have this story mostly New England? About Christopher Columbus coming in. You know what's so crazy, Jay? I'm gonna be honest with you. I've only heard that story from a small group of people that just so happen are of a particular race. And I'm just like, girl, you really think that these Native Americans were dumb? You really think that these native people to this land was dumb enough to let foreign people come in and control them? It never dawned on you that a lot of us get caught up, and even in modern day history, in the past 100 years, and I won't even say past that, but we're going to say the past 100 years because a lot of people have been abducted. There's been people that have been missing, that have been, taken out of this plane. You think these people willingly jumped up with Ted Bundy? You think these people willingly jumped up with Jeffrey Dahmer? They said, oh my God, this white man came in and he said, whatever. No, bitch, these people lured them. They lured them. They used a lure. They used a glamour spell to say, look at me. I got it together. Hi. Well, what are you looking for? Oh, your man just broke up with you. Oh, and they're sitting there acting like they're so sympathetic. Oh, your man. Oh, that's so sad. Oh, I see. Oh, wow. They're letting this person open up, becoming vulnerable. And then they say what? Well, I'll help you. Come to my house. I'll take your worries away. Oh, baby, no, don't worry about it. We'll come home. We'll go to my house. We'll have fun. Baby, you won't even remember this man. Before you know it, bitch, the motherfucker get taken out. Same thing with the whole Jeffrey Dahmer shit. Similar things, honey. People getting lured in. People be getting, a gay man, trying to lure people in with money. He going to the ghetto, the broke parts of the motherfucking world, luring people in with money. Hey, you need money? You need $50? I got it, but you got to come to my house first. What we going to be doing? We're going to be taking new pictures. Really? Oh, I don't know about that. Well, how about we do 100? I don't know about that. Okay, 500. Oh, shit, I got it. Girl, willingly go with this man and never make it out the motherfucking house. So that's how it works with all this shit. Christopher Columbus and them, they didn't come because they had higher knowledge than these Native Americans. Girl, don't let these people got you thinking that. They got you thinking that white people, excuse me, I can speak about this, bitch. My grandmother's white. I have white blood in me, bitch. I can speak about this, honey. Hello! I grew up with white people. I have friends that are white. colleagues that are white, I can talk about this. People be having it. I gotta call a spade though. People have you thinking that white people are just the most intelligent, most smart race of people in this whole fucking planet. Like they outsmarted everybody. They're just so fucking advanced. Everybody wants the white person's IQ, the white man's IQ. Oh, we want that IQ, but we know that's not motherfucking true. You people got a brain. We know that's not fucking true. Everybody wants to make it seem like the white man knows every fucking thing. Well, if he didn't, why is he so successful? If he didn't, why the white people rule the world? Why is this a white man's world? Girl, it's called bamboozling. It's called learning secrets from people and using it against them. It's called taking knowledge, taking out everybody who know the real knowledge. And then the new generation that come on, you train them. You got to get your hands on them. You got to make them go to school so you could train in the way that you know, or the way that you want them to know, while you're keeping the true tea behind the scenes. That's what that's called. It's called retraining, reprogramming. That's what that's called, babe. So it's going to give us the illusion that Elon Musk is the creator of Tesla fucking vehicles when we know that the Asians are. It gives the illusion that Christian Dior, Balenciaga, Givenchy, and all these people are so intelligent that they hired a studio worker, I don't know what they call them, or art designer, Tom Ford, to come in and design a bag for us, a simple ass fucking bag, girl, with just handles on it. But we know that China produced that shit. We know they go hire the Chinese to do that. So who really have the intelligence here? Hello? Can we talk about it? Who really have a recession-proof economy? Bitch, ask somebody about it. Like I said, bitch, y'all can play stupid if you want to, but it's why y'all win dumb prizes. You play stupid games, you win dumb prizes. What they say, play like a vagina and you'll get fucked like one. That's what it is. Bitch, and that's what they do to all y'all right now. Okay, let's wake up. Okay, let's wake up. Let's not forget about the tea. Let's wake up. That's why they want you drunk. They want you high. They want you mentally exhausted. They want you traumatized so they can medicate you. They want to fuck you up every which way. And it's okay not to be okay. It sure is. That's why you go get help. That's why you go talk it out. You being a spiritual person, go use all modalities. Use Western medicine with Eastern medicine. Use what the psychologist, therapist telling you from what your spirits can connect you with. That's why we do that. Hello? Yes, America's does. Yeah, they do. They love running with silly narratives. I would say that, girl. I would say that, King of Sheba. They love running with silly narratives. They love focusing on shit that really ain't that important. They get so excited. Like, I talk about this before and I will say this again. If I am a follower of yours, if I see you as a leader, a teacher, I'm asking you how to let me out. I'm asking you how to help me find a way. I'm asking you how to help me connect with what I need to connect to. I don't give a fuck about what you talking about. I don't give a fuck how pretty you look when you get on camera. I don't give a fuck how pretty your background look. I have questions that I need motherfucking answered. And then I'm also looking at your life too, like, but you have all this knowledge and you can assess the frequencies and the vibrations. Why the fuck are you on my level? Make it make sense, y'all. I'm going to somebody who struggled with being a addict. I'm going with somebody who's struggling to be an addict. I'm a struggling addict. I need to find my way out. This person puts on makeup, wig, hair, makeup, whatever. It makes it seem like they are a addict who found the answer. They found the Holy Grail. My next question that I'm going to be asking is, why are you still considering yourself an addict? And then I'm going to look at this and say, well, fuck, if they're also recovering addict, or excuse me, they're an addict that's they're still struggling or struggling addict, why am I even connected with them? Because they're not going to teach me nothing but teaching me how to continue to be a struggling addict. And that's how they go with all this shit too. A lot of people find some of these people, they fancy some of these people, but of course it's trauma bonding. And of course people don't like that word, but I love using it, honey. Trauma bonding. They connect with people, place, and things because they see trauma. They resonate the trauma. The trauma resonate with them. Oh, this is a Black woman who knows what it like to be in the same position as me. Oh, this is a recovering addict, a struggling addict who knows what it's like to be blah, 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 blah. But on the flip side to that, this keeps you in your struggle. Going to a struggling addict to help with your addictions keeps you in the struggle. Going to a black person or black woman who is a single mother who cannot find a man to save her life, who cannot do love rituals to keep a man in her motherfucking life, who do not do love rituals to keep love on her motherfucking self because she couldn't love herself because she adopted somebody else's motherfucking identity. We're not calling out no names, we're just saying. I'm going to be like, wait a minute. If I'm trying to find myself and elevate up out of here, why am I going to somebody that's just like that? Girl, that's like a sex worker going to a sex worker to find a way out. That's like a pimp going to a pimp to find a way out. How's a pimp going to tell you how to get out of pimping if they still pimping? And that's how I've been doing this shit over here or in America, where it's like, girl, do you really think this bitch have the answer to your question? Even though she's been in it, but she's still going through it. And let her tell you she's going through it because it's a spell. I put a spell on him, blah, 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 blah. Well, where's the other one at? Because me being a heterosexual female, that's what I will be bragging about. How I am kept, how I am, with the man of my dreams. I'm living in the house of my dreams. My children are well taken care of. We have a system put in place. Like, this is what I would be so proud of. I wouldn't be sitting here looking like the old, bitter ass, miserable ass walrus that I am by not discussing what I got going on and what I found out to get out what I got going on, but looking at other people. And every time I turn around, I'm talking about, the LGBT community. It's like, girl, can you worry about your own community? Can we do some content on, fuck doing content on, and this is just what I gotta say. Me being a person who talk about all things, I'm non-denominational. I'm just about you waking up, finding yourself, becoming your greater self, reawakening yourself. That's my main focus. Okay. I'm not here to discuss LGBT issues because I don't feel like I'm affected by those issues. Let's talk about it. I don't feel like I'm affected by those issues. I feel like people want me to be affected by those issues, but I don't feel like I'm affected by those issues in that way. I don't go out and get clocked. I don't go out and get served. I don't go out and get, I have to read people down. It's me, I'm not served. So that's not my story. So I don't address those issues because now I look like I'm trying to be in a battle that's not even mine. Can we talk about it? And so going into that, these other people, they'll be focusing on, gay people, LGBT people, trans people. Oh, this is a nigga bitch. Oh, these are bottom bitches. Oh, these are sissies. These are bottoms. They like their whole plowed out. But they're not talking about things that pertain to them because they are directly affected by the system that Black Americans suffer from. They are, this one in particular I'm talking about, they are facing what a lot of Black women in America are facing. Being a single mother, being unmarried, having, a lot of issues going on, health issues going on. And so either way, I would be talking about that to keep my people coming. I would be talking about that to keep my people, if I'm really here to help. I want to be here discussing things that's not going to help my community, my people, because gay people are not going to hear you talk about gay people and bash people and fuck gay people up. It's the people that should be like you, focusing on what they got going on, like getting their baby daddy, getting back child support if they possibly can, and or make sure their children are good. Instead, they warn about, I got to take a break from this straight shit and go read these gay people for a minute. And that's the motherfucking problem. That's why collectively, your certain communities are failing. You're not failing because people are not listening. People are not helping you. You're not helping yourself. You're not figuring a way out yourself. You're not connecting with people of the same mind, the same frame, the same shape, the same ideas. Come on in here to level up. Instead, you worrying about why the next group is leveling up and why you're not. Well, you're not a part of the group, so you're not going to know why. If you're a part of the group, you will know why, because I'm part of the group and I know why. And the same thing with that. You should know why your group is not excelling, why your group is not having a way out, why your group is not becoming the best it possibly can, because you're not being the best you possibly can. You're part of that group. You're part of that community. So why not focus on the real answer is why? Because you can't help. You can't help as a Black woman leader. You can't help your Black woman in America find themselves. You can help your Black woman in America become the best they possibly can be. Find mental awareness, emotional awareness, physical awareness. You can't do that. So this is why your content is based on things that doesn't have to do with your community or even you, for that matter. Because you're not concerned unless your baby father was a gay man, and that's where the real issue is here. You found out he was gay, because that's a lot of people say. They found out their baby daddy was gay, baby daddy was a drag queen, whatever. So maybe that's the story, and you're not saying it. But I don't understand why the content has to always be about shit that has nothing to do with you, that you really don't have a horse in the race in. And it really be given very much closet case. This is really how I identify, but I really don't know what the world would think of me type of energy. Because, bitch, we see it. You know, I love lesbians. I've seen so many of them. I love lesbian women, honey. When it comes down to protecting the women and all that stuff, baby, I'm for protecting the lesbian women. No disrespect to the, heterosexual women out there, honey. We love all women in that matter. But the ones that I would fight for, the ones that I would be on the front line for, are lesbian women, honey. Okay? Just being honest with you. Okay? And so, baby, I've had the most love, the most respect, the most endearment from lesbian women, ones that are comfortable and secured in their own identity. When it comes down to a lot of these people, girl, they're insecure about who they are. So every second they get, every moment they get, they want to bash. But it's like, maybe that's what the tea is. Maybe you can't be your authentic true self. Maybe you can connect with an LGBT person. We can connect you with some, lesbians out there, and they can show you how to be confident in yourself. We know a lot of confident lesbian women who became very successful. Success is in how you feel. There's a lot of successful lesbians out there, trans people, gay people that are successful because they're confident in who they are. They're mentally healthy, emotionally healthy. And so their success is showing in their energy, their vibrations, and how they treat themselves, because they're not willing to settle for anything. And so that goes even into that. When you love yourself and you're content with yourself and everything about you evolve with you, you start to project that love outward. So now things that does not pertain to you, you don't want to address, but you want to address people who are just like you because you found a way out. You've healed from your trauma. You've come out of the storm. You've come out of the tunnel. You've come out of the cave. And so now you feel like, I'm victorious, and I want to show other people how to also be victorious. And that's what's going on right now. So silly narratives create silly rabbits. And right now in this world, we see nothing but silly rabbits, from the political figures to the spiritual influencers to the TikTok influencers to the YouTube influencers on down. We see silly rabbits playing silly ass games, and some of these other silly rabbits be a part of it. I'm not calling everybody rabbit, but if you are taking play in these silly ass games, these rabbit face ass bitches are playing, you are a fucking silly rabbit. Silly rabbit tricks are for kids. That's what you thought. Because a lot of you hoes be tricking as fuck. You be tricking as rabbit trying to read somebody down. Bitch, I'm the 1, the 2, 3, and 4. And that's what I be saying too. I would love to have a very articulate reading session. If anybody's down that, my haters, anybody don't like me, you want to have a reading session, somebody could be a mutual party. They can start a live, invite us both up. They give me my turn to say what I got to say, to give you attention to what you got to say. And then there you go, girl. We get into it, girl. We get into a reading session. Whatever the read goes, the read go. Nothing is off limit. You can talk about whatever, girl. We have to give a disclaimer that the opponents are okay to be read down the way they want to be read down. And bitch, listen, all I got to say is 2 or 3 words, bitch, and I will slice you, dice you, connive you, and serve you. Not connive you. I was trying to rhyme and shit. I would slice and dice you and even confine you and serve you right on that, bitch. I was like, all I gotta say is 2 or 3 words, baby. I know how to hit you where the good Lord split you. Hello! I know how to hit you where the good Lord split you. And that's in the mouth, that's in the front, that's in the back. Depends on what type of tea you are. Well, actually, men do have a split in the front too. You gotta pee. So men also got the mouth hole. They got the slit in the front. They got slit in the back. There you go, girl. I will listen. I will help serve you, slice you, dice you, splice you. Where the good Lord split you at, baby. And that's the ow. Bitch, that like that. All I need is 2 minutes and I'm done. You might keep going on and think you really reading and gapped ass bitch, bop, bitty bitch, bitty bop, bop, boop, bad bitch, your feet big. Yeah, that you might think that's a read. That's not really a read. Bitch, like, the way I would read you, girl, you'll be crying. You'll have your grandchildren's children coming back and begging my children's children to ask for forgiveness for me reading you the way I read you, bitch. Okay, I would read you so deep, bitch, that you'll be into another. Bitch, you talk about time warping and dimensional travel, bitch. You'll be in a whole motherfucking timeline, dimension, and motherfucking time frame, bitch. You will think, bitch, you'll be read so fucking hard. You'll think yourself that you're a motherfucking Donald Trump. That's how fucking deep and hard I'll fucking read you, bitch. And I'm open to read all people. Man, woman, boy, girl, black, white, gay, straight, Christian, Catholic, Islamic, I don't give a fuck. But you want to read? We can read. You want to tussle? We can tussle, girl. We're listen. Ow! We're using the words to read. That's what we're doing. We're using our mouthpiece to read down. That's type of read. That's how I like to fuck. I like to read you down that way. I like to read you down in that type of word. I like to use my words to project things on you, bitch. I don't like to really get physical, girl. Because listen, okay? Because listen, okay? I like to use my words to get you where I need to get you at. And we know how to do it. All I got to do is just see you for 2 seconds, girl, and I won't read nothing outside of the spirit. Oh, come on in here. That's how I tell people I'm a spiritual reader, baby. All I need is for you to see you for 2 seconds. Let the spirits come on in here, because bitch, that's what I do. Let the spirits come on in and let me give you a reading session what the spirits is telling me to read. Like I read that motherfucker over there, y'all. Very lightly, and I'm done. I told y'all this motherfucker thinking that he's this big time DJ. This motherfucker, he got all this fucking money, girl, girl, thinking that he reading a bitch, slaying a bitch down, throwing a bitch off, girl. Talking about he make 22K a day. Girl, this motherfucker over here, girl, just doing weird shit, girl, trying to read me down. And first it was girl, baby girl, you know, blah, blah, blah. Very respectful, y'all. All of a sudden, when he gets a good reading session for me, and when I say reading, spiritual reading, now it's, well, what do you consider yourself? Do you have a penis or vagina? What do you consider? And I'm like, baby, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Your mother has a vagina and your father treats her like they're in a homosexual relationship, bitch. Are you fucking kidding me? Bitch, what the fuck that have to do with a fuck ass thing? So, bitch, we got into a good reading session, girl. We got into a reading session so deep, y'all. And this was 10 minutes, and there was witnesses to this as well. I read this man down to the bloodline, bitch, in 10 fucking minutes, where this man was not drunk at first. He was conscious. He was coherent, right? He was very coherent. He was trying to act like he was drunk. He tried to act like his phone was fucking up. Then he tried to act like he was choking because his allergies was kicking up. That's how deep my motherfucking ass cut. That's what I said. Girl, let me have a reading session with Donald Trump. Put me on a podium with Donald Trump. Put me on a podium with Elon Musk, bitch. I would have a good reading session with these motherfuckers where they will think twice and play motherfucking nice. Bitch, Elon will think twice about his male identity. Because you know that's the fucking 50, bitch. We see it. Now, Miss Thing over there, redhead girl, Miss Gemini girl, she give us panty wear. She like put on some pink panties and shit. I see it right now. She put on a tuxedo and shit, but she put on some pink panties. And something tell me, allegedly, it's all alleged to proven otherwise. I mean, hold on, let's put our little banner on before I say what I'm gonna say. Hold on, let's put our little banner on. Something is telling me, y'all, this is coming to me right now. Ooh, girl. Ooh, this is heavy ass energy here. That Caitlyn and Trump hung out on many occasions. And is Trump getting laser on something? And what is this with some pink panther? It's something with that pink panty panther. Is this something with a pink panty panther, pink panther panties or something? But it's something with a pink panty community, which are these men of a particular race. Oh, come on in here, spirit. These men of a particular race of a certain status put on panties and bras. They love lacy panties and lacy bras. Oh my God. And somebody have Velcro's veins on their legs and they putting on stockings. And I'm not saying allegedly this is looking like somebody. This is looking like somebody, allegedly. I'm not going to say who, because people be always trying to spin the narrative, girl. Let me tell you guys something very lighty polite. Ooh, girl. I shouldn't even try to tap in on that motherfucking energy, because now I'm seeing a lot of motherfucking tea. There's some light-skinned black guy, political interviewer, some shit right here too. Honey, I think he's got like a white grandpa or something that's connected to all this shit too. Act like he down with the people. I don't know. But listen, y'all, when I tell you, there was this guy, an influencer, we're not going to say no names, but this man was reading down the girls and fuck these. And I have respect for these girls, but I don't really care for the trans and a nigga that think he's a woman. That's some sick ass shit. So I was like, well, let me listen, because maybe there's some trauma there, and a point of maybe the girl tricked him. Maybe a trans woman tried to get him drunk and get him together, like pull his pants down or something. I don't know. Because you got a lot of top aggressive trans out there. Whatever. They're very top aggressive tops. Very masculine, aggressive trans women, whatever. Not my business. I'm not in that. That's not my story. I'm not a part of it. But listen, I'm sitting here assessing him. They're like, I need you to come in here and have this dialogue. So I'm in there and he's talking and, he's a very attractive guy, by the way. And I'm like, okay. I was like, okay, I can see why the girls want him to want them because he's attractive and every community wants an attractive ally, whatever. But then somebody came in there and was like, well, what about this person? And of course he's like, well, and I saw something just flicker, y'all. And this was probably his spirit talking. I don't know, maybe because I studied how the eye movement and shit be going. People be telling shit. They tell themselves really. Girl, this motherfucker eyes did like a twinkling effect. And he said, no, y'all keep playing on my motherfuckers. Y'all know I'm not into no man or no woman man or no shim or no gim or no limb and also good shit, blah, blah, blah. And at that point, girl, I saw it. I said, yes, he does like it. So, of course, I said right here, right now, as a reader, right here, right now, y'all, there's witnesses that can attest to this. I said, I want to say something, and please don't take this offensively, but I honestly do believe that you like, and I couldn't get it out, y'all, before I even said, because this was my spirit talking to his spirit. I feel like when I be reading people, that it does not be my flesh talking to their flesh. I feel like our spirits be interconnecting. It be interlinking. That's how I be reading and be reading so directly and so deeply, bitch, whether you want it or not. And when I say read, I mean a good read too, not just a bad read. But either way, he cut me off before I can even finish. And he said, see, that's the problem with you trans people. Y'all think everybody want to be y'all. You think that everybody is trans attracted. Everybody's a trainer themselves. Everybody gay when they not. And I said, well, you know what? Listen, this is what we're going to do. I'm going to let you have your moment. Who am I to expose T? You're just a bashing a certain group of people. You said trans people, whatever. If you assume I'm trans, whatever. And then he's like, well, if you're not really trans, I apologize. Oh, no, don't apologize. But I said, trust when I tell you this, sooner or later, it will come out that you are really into the girls and that also you have a co-star. And he's like, a co-star? Oh, yeah, this training, these hormones done fuck this bitch head up. This is what he's talking about, y'all. So I dropped down. I said, bitch, it's not my business. Y'all, this was probably like 2 or 3 months ago. Do you know that 2 weeks ago that another influencer who's, just happened trans, basically got into it with this guy because they were talking secretly as friends, allegedly. But there was a woman or a man posing as being a woman, a gay boy, posing to be a woman. And he was basically setting up these other influencers to get got. And they were basically giving this guy the tea on these other hosts. So these other hosts and these other influencers are thinking that they're talking to a woman. So they're sharing shit with them. And the gay boy who's pretending to be this woman is trying to make it seem like they are conveying this stuff to a gay man when they assume that this was a woman. Right? It was their fault for not verifying, but they assumed this was a woman they were talking to. Girl, when I tell you that's when it was exposed that he was into the girls, because now when it was exposed about his co-star, which I was talking about, and everybody was like, damn, we didn't even know this. How did you know this? And who did you? And listen, I'm telling y'all, when I tap in, I'll be tapping in, girl. Things come up, girl. Whether it's true or not, I'm going to say it. That's why we say alleged. Girl, maybe it's me tapping into other people's energy and I'm directing that energy out like that. Who knows? But I'm saying my motherfucker felt, and bitch, there we go. It's a straight guy who's into the girls, but he used a gay guy who just happened to donate money to him to basically get people together. And that's what motherfucking happened. And then the girls started exposing shit. Well, what does this mean? We went to In and Out together. Where is this? We were hanging out. Oh, you were sitting on my couch. Oh, you were sitting on my lap. Oh, we went to the club. What were you doing here? Oh, now I was thinking to myself, like, girl, this is some type of weird shit. Why would a straight man who's an influencer that people know of, why would he be in a public setting with someone of trans? Now, this person's a passable person, so maybe that's what he thought he could get away with. But, like, why would you put yourself at risk like that? Why would you be like, girl, what? I'm like, girl, listen. Listen, but it got exposed, girl. So like I said, baby, I like to read people's spirit. I don't give a fuck about what you brought. Oh, maybe you're reading me because no. I'm not reading because of that. Well, maybe you read it because I gave it. No, you could give me a story whichever way you want to tell me. Bitch, I want my spirits to come through and show up and show out. I want my spirits to give me what I need, and I need it all. So you might have told me your baby daddy cheated on you and you were innocent, but the spirit is going to say, wait, don't jump too far to the gun because she's the cheater too. So did this man cheat on you because he retaliated? Did you cheat on him? Well, we really wasn't official yet. Girl, the fuck out of here. You lowered your pH balance. You throwed off your pH balance of your vagina, making you susceptible to a yeast infection. And now that the man is doing the same thing to you, potentially bring you back an STD, now you're upset and you want to do some work on him? That's not how that works, babe. That's how it works, girl. So you want to play in your time, play with your spirit, you go ahead and you do that. But girl, thank you for telling me the story that you thought I wasn't catch. That I wasn't going to catch. I did. Anyway, we're going to get up in there. I'm going to think a lot of people, ooh, come on in here, Blue Heart. Ooh, wait, come on. Jolly L. Ishtar has been echoing through these past weeks. There's a deficit happening with her. I know that's right. Come on in here, Jayla. Oh, Jolly L. How you doing, Jolly L? Yes, honey. Yes, as what King Sheba said. I feel like Anana Ishtar Freaks is trying to fight through that current Ash who rules this realm. Ties back to Sovereign Kingdom. Come on in here, Jolly L. Yes, honey. Yes, this. I need to scroll and see what King Sheba said. Speaking of that, y'all, I've always loved Lady Gaga. I feel like Lady Gaga. Let me just say this, y'all. Now, I'm not really a fan of people like that. I mean, I love people, but I'm not really a fan like that. I mean, there are some people I'm a diehard fan for, like Tyra Banks, who, is not a sellout like that, and a few other people, Megan Thee Stallion. Shout out to Megan, honey. Please don't ever sell out, girl. I love you, boots, but anyway, but going into, and of course, we love Nicki Minaj, y'all. We love some Nicki too. Shout out to Nicki. Hey, Nicki. Like Doja said. Oh, of course, we love Doja too, y'all. But let me get up off of that. Going into a lot of tea. I was going somewhere with that, honey. So we getting into Doja and all that shit. Let me click on. Oh, Lady Gaga. I was like, let me go back and see where I was at when I was going to comment that. You have bookmarks in your brain of where you were going to start something and you ended that. Lady Gaga deserves every good thing that comes to her. Though someone I know was like, well, she never gave out the name of the victim, the man who victimized her, blah, 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 blah. I understand why she did not. I understand that this game that they're in is a very cold game. Mama's thinking about longevity. Mama's thinking about achieving. Mama's thinking about retiring and not being bankrupt. Now, allegedly, I've not read this to be true myself, and I read this myself. Mama went bankrupt through having these extravagant shows. She then come out with another album, and she basically recouped all her money. You guys, she also helped Bruno Mars. She also helped this man, and she did a song with him, "Live Like It's Your Last Day" or something. This is the song I love, y'all. I don't know the name of the song, but I love this song. But she helped this man out, y'all, and it helped her out in return. And this is why she's doing good. But yeah, I love Lady Gaga. I saw her story where she came out and she talked about this producer who violated her and forced her to, ABO her baby, y'all. And I felt her energy in that moment. And I said, this is why Lady Gaga is such a powerhouse an icon for the LGBT community and people that are misfits and people that are outsided, because she doesn't only speak for the LGBT community, but she speaks for people who are outcasted and a misfit, because even going into herself, she never thought she was this pretty girl next door. And so the idea that mama would take her hurt and her pain, y'all, and she wouldn't abuse people with the hurt and pain that she'd been through. The fact that she wouldn't have been abandoned, neglected, disrespected, and violated to the highest, most disgusting motherfucking level, and then become the same fucker that say, let me do it for the people too. Let me also abuse, abandon, neglect, disrespect, all this other shit. Instead of her doing that, she said, I'm going to help people. Instead of her doing that, she said, I'm going to I'm going to shine a light on people because I know what they feel like. I know what it feels like to have a secret. I know what it feels like to be different. I know what it feels like to be slapped on and spat on. I know what it feels like to be used as a pawn in a motherfucking game. And that's what the LGBT is used for, a pawn in a motherfucking game. Y'all better recognize. Y'all better motherfucker recognize. And so I gained so much respect and love for that lady, y'all, to where I play Fortnite and I play Fortnite as Lady motherfucking Gaga. How you doing? And I said I should also, girl, give me a Lady Gaga wig, girl. I'm gonna start doing my makeup like that, girl. It gives me very much kiss galactic type of energy. Lady Gaga give us that, girl. And so that's it. And I always think about Lady Gaga when I see Jaleel because I feel like Jaleel is related to that lady, honey. They must have the same spiritual blood, honey, because I see Jaleel. Yeah, they're right there, honey. Jaleel, one day you're gonna meet Lady Gaga, honey. One day you're gonna meet her, and I hope that you have a chance to really be like, let me sit down and let me tell you this, let me share my music with you, even though I didn't write, even though I haven't put together a song called The Season of Oshun for Madam Merkaba. Anyway, but let me show you my ones and my twos. And I feel like that's gonna be a great thing for you. We love Lady Gaga, honey. And that's it, honey. Yes, honey. Shout out to Lady Gaga. What does she call her people? The Gagettes, the Galactic, the Gagas, the Armor Galactic people. I don't know what she call them. So the Satan Arpon rules this realm. No, I think that people get Lucifer, Satan, and the devil all mixed up. And what? Demons, right? I think there's different meanings for that. So no, I don't think that Satan rules this realm. And maybe I interlink that as well too. Now I'm thinking about it. I think I said Satan rules this world. I don't think that Pan rules this world. Satan rules this world. I do feel like there is something. How would I feel this? How would I say this? Satan actually means the oppressor. Okay? Shaitan, right? Shaitan. Okay, that's the oppressor. So anything that oppresses the righteous, anything that oppresses the right way or the straight way is considered Satan, satanic. The process of being the oppressor. Can we talk about it? Or is this too deep for y'all? Going into the whole ruling of this realm, there is a frequency that we consider very low and vibrational, which can be linked to demonic or hellish energy that does preside over this realm. The Bible even speaks about that, right? The Bible even speaks about, this realm being of a particular energy. And so we are going to go through bad things. And guess what? The Most High allows it. The Most High allows the corruption of, and I just want to remind y'all, just in case you forgot, because I was supposed to be leaving y'all, and I really do got to go. What time is it? Oh, I got to really go, y'all. I got 10 minutes for y'all, girl. Ow! I got 10 minutes for y'all, girl. We've been here for almost 2 hours. Jesus! No, we've been here for almost 2 hours, y'all. Let me look this up. Let's go to Bible Gate. Hold on. Let this phone do its thing, honey. Oh, come on. Yo, when the phone first come up and you unlock it. Okay, let's pull it up now. Let's pull it up, y'all. Can we pull it up? Let's pull it up. So we're going into the book of Isaiah. Come on in here. And this book is telling you the rankings. The book of Isaiah talks about many things, but it goes into spiritual identity. It goes into things that is working in the spiritual realm that comes into the physical realm. For you to understand how the physical things manifest into the spiritual things, you have to understand and study the book of motherfucking Isaiah. And the prophet Isaiah talks about a lot of things. But the one we're talking about today, the things we're talking about today, is going to be Isaiah 45, verse 1 through motherfucking Uh, hold on. It want to flip around and shit. We're going to talk about from 1 to 8, 45, Isaiah 45, verse 1 through 8. Now, I need you to understand something, right? Because also the book of Isaiah is no weapon shall form, no weapon formed against you shall prosper. Also, the book of Isaiah talk about the eunuch and the spirit being born, being created, and being forced to be that motherfucker. And so, but people not ready for that type of teaching. All these Christians out here talk about the God, the Lord, that God, and it's an abomination for a man to become a woman and shit. You don't know the motherfucking story. You don't know what the purpose that the Most High has for motherfucking trans people. But we know when your ass is so far up, other people ask this, you think that God created you for a purpose to do what the fuck you do too. So of course you so distracted by, well, why would he make a motherfucking homo, a motherfucking tranny, a fucking nigga bitch? Yeah, that's why. Bitch, that's what we say. Lead on not to your own understanding, honey, but lead on to God, because God knows all things. So Isaiah 45, 1 through 8 says, thus saith the Lord to his anointed, to Cyrus, whose right hand I have holden, to subdue nations before him. And I will loose the loins of kings to open before him the two-leaved gates, and the gates shall not be shut. And we're going to also spend the day, we're going to break this down, God. We're going to come back to Isaiah 45, 1 through. We're going to break down what this is meaning, but opening up the loins, open up the legs of the kings. Come on in here. See, y'all not ready for that type of teaching. Honey, because the sex work is in the motherfucking Bible. The sex work is in the motherfucking Bible. Girl, the poles and the toes, and they don't get motherfucking old, bitch. They've been talking about this for 2,000 motherfucking years, girl. And you go sit in my motherfucking place, make them like it's something new. The fuck out of here. Hello. I will go before thee and make the crooked places straight. I will break in pieces the gates of brass and cut in sunder the bars of motherfucking iron. Ooh, let me keep the scripture the way it is. Bars of iron. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm feeling myself. I'm sorry. And I will give thee the treasures of darkness. Now, this is the Lord thy God. This is the Lord thy God speaking this. This is the Lord thy God, y'all. Wake up. The Lord thy God said, I will give thee the treasures of darkness. I will give thee the treasures of darkness, and I will hidden riches of secret places, and hidden riches of secret places, that thou mayest knoweth that I, the Lord, which call thee by thy name, am the God of Israel. By the way, which is three deities coming on in here, the Holy Spirit, the Holy Trinity. Come on in. If y'all don't know what it is, we'll break that down. Israel is three names of three different deities put together. Hello, you better wake up. Come on in here. And it also says that the treasures of darkness and the hidden riches of secret places. See, people don't be praying for that. They don't be praying for riches of hidden places and treasures of darkness. They don't care for that. They talk about give me a measly $2,000, $3,000 card. No, bitch, give me what is hidden in motherfucking plain sight. Give me what they got buried over there in Mar-a-Lago. Give me what they got buried over there at the P. Diddy mansion. I want the money. Especially for my car. Ow! Sit on over here, Spirit. Sit on over, Spirit. For Jacob, my servant's sake, and Israel, mine elect. I have been called thee by thy name. I have surnamed thee, though thou hast not known me. I am the Lord, and there is no one else. Oh, come on in here, Spirit. And this is Isaiah. Oh, come on in here, number 5. Oh, God, 45, verse 5. And it says that I am the Lord, and there is no one else. Oh, God, Spirit, come on in here. There is no God beside me. I girded thee, though thou hast not known me. See, and these are the Christians that don't understand the Lord thy God. They don't understand the God or the Lord that Isaiah was talking about, Isaiah was talking about. They don't understand this because there's no other God. It says that I am all things. I am all things, the bird, the air, the fire, the light, the dark. That's what this is getting into. And it says that they may know from the rising of the sun and from the west, that there is no one besides me. I am the Lord and there's no one else. He wants you to understand this, but she said this in two different scriptures. The Lord saith in two different scriptures, Isaiah 45:5 and Isaiah 45:6, that he is from the left to the right, to the up to the down, to the in to the out, that he is the motherfucking God, the one and only. There's no one else. There's none one else. Can we talk about it? And he said, going into 7, oh, come on in here, that I form the light and I create darkness. I make peace and I create evil. I, the Lord, do all of these things. See, y'all been bamboozled into thinking that the devil, who's been locked up in motherfucking into a near what he locked up in fucking that place he locked up in, girl, when they unlocked him, girl, the bottomless pit. And when they unlock him, girl, the lake of fire becomes active, and those who wanted to follow him get thrown into that lake of fire. They become purified. Come on, we talk about it. Y'all get so bamboozled to thinking, oh, the devil, that damn devil. The devil don't have power over you, girl. The Lord does. The Lord says that he created things, that he do these things. It's not the devil that got y'all doing fucked up shit. It's not the devil that created this man to do fucked up shit. It's not the devil that made Donald Trump do the shit he doing. It's God. It's God. It's God. That's what he says. It's God. It's the Lord that it says this. It's the Lord that saith this, that he is responsible for all things. Let's not blame the devil. Let's not blame the devil on the shit that is going on. The realm is being operated upon lordship. The vibrations are being operated upon lordship, because then we're getting into sovereign kingdom, as Jaleel said. We're getting into a state of you are the ruler of yourself. You are the ruler of what happens and what doesn't happen. Your actions and words, like any ruler or leader, it affects you in the long run. Just like what they got going on now, they're going to all eat the worst they fucking doing. Elon, Donald, all these people, girl, all of them. You eventually eat the words that you do. You eventually suffer from your own action. That's how that works. That's how it works. Oh, come on in here, God. Oh, hallelujah. We give thanks for the spirit of motherfucking knowledge. We give thanks for the motherfucking Holy Spirit of motherfucking knowledge. Because, baby, at the end of the motherfucking day, we want to understand what we got here. And so I form the light and I create darkness. I make peace and I create evil. I, the Lord, do all these things, which says that eventually the darkness leads you back to the light. It says eventually, regardless of what you say you are, you gave an oath to. I gave an oath to Satan. I gave an oath to Lucifer. You still gave an oath back over to God, because God owns you. Ow! Come on in here. The essence of you is started, and it's not about God owning you. You are a part of a greater committee. If you have a spirit, if you have a soul, you are a part of a greater committee, a greater council. That's why imagine they talk about the witches' council and shit. You are a part of a council that you were dethroned from, that you were exiled from, that you were, you were flown straight out of girl first class. In the Holy Spirit. Hello, come on here. Or could we say by way of Michael Airlines? But you got thrown all the way the fuck out. Hello? And so this is why these things happen to you. Because you lost your space in that place. Oh, come on here. See, y'all not ready for that. Y'all want to be down here, act like you holier than thou. And I go to church every Sunday, so that make you greater than you. Girl, bye. That's a house full of liars, scammers, and homosexuals, bitch. Ow! If you want to talk about it. Bitch, the fuck? And it says right here, number 8. And I speak like this because the Holy Spirit allowed me to speak like this. I speak with such power and such conviction in my words, my curse words. And it's not curse words, it's cuss words. Because I know that's where it hits you. I know that cuss words like damn, fuck, shit, mama, motherfucker, it hits you at that root. I know that. It hits you at that fucking root. It's very low vibrational, but it's meant to wake you up. Can we talk about it? Oh, you're not ready for that type of teaching. Okay. And it says, drop down, ye heavens from above, and let the skies pour down righteousness. Let the earth open, and let them bring forth salvation, and let righteousness spring up together. I, the Lord, have created it. So it says that all things in this world, come on in here, all things in this plane, oh, come on in here, all things that exist is good, but you're under the illusion. You're under the spell. You're under the incantation that things are evil. And that's what it's all about. It's about you going through the evil things. It's about you seeing the evil things, but not becoming the evil things, because you know in your hearts of hearts, for those who are awakened, that you are still going to find your way back to the Most High. You're still going to find your way back to the light. You're still going to find your way back to the high place. You're still going to find your place back to the sanctuary. You're still going to find your way back to the palace. So you got tricked in your trauma. You got tricked in your delusion that, baby, oh, I listen, fuck God. I'm a devil worshiper. I'm Satanist. I love being, I'm signing my name over to Satan right now. I got a satanic Bible, my hands right up, laying there. Girl, what? Do you not know that the real, they have the Lord's Prayer? Do you not know that the real Lucifer's prayer is the Lord's Prayer in reverse? Which tells you that they operate in a reverse type of situation, which tells you that what they're telling you is bad, it's really good. Like I said, y'all been programmed. I was once part of that program. Bitch, I don't suffer from that type of programmation no more. I don't have anxiety attacks. I'm not suffering from depression. I don't feel unworthy. I don't feel worthless. I don't feel like I'm a mistake. I don't feel like the powers above all things is going to judge me higher and greater than those who have committed sins upon mankind as a whole. On my level, what I've done, to a degree of what I've done it on, baby, it's like a little ripple in the fucking ocean of the universe compared to what we've seen go on. And even going into motherfucking P. Diddy. We know that's not even a big ass ripple, girl. You think it's a big ass ripple. Yeah, it starts to get deep, y'all, but the ocean is forever expanding. It's that the universe is forever expanding. The ocean is forever expanding. So you're not even seeing how far down that shit go, girl. You out, girl. Let's talk about the Mariana Trench and shit. Hello. It goes so deep down there, baby, that you don't even know how deep it is. And then after you get to the Mariana Trench, girl, they got another little tunnel that's on the side of that. They go deeper than that. They don't know where the fuck they go. That's how deep this shit go. So you have to wake up and understand who you're really fooling. Is it a mental illness to have you thinking that you really connect to some type of demonic force? Or is it really you just trying to soothe yourself over and think that you were the one that took 3 to 4 to 5? Because that's really what it is. Is you ultimately accepting that you are responsible for your falling. You are ultimately responsible for why you're here, why you do things you do. And so you have to think about that, y'all. When we step back and we start taking accountability and responsibility for our spirit and our essence and who we are as a being and why we're here, girl, we don't have 100 years on this planet to be cute. We have 100 years on this planet to, oh my God, this is so fun. This is so exciting. Oh my God. We have 100 years for a purpose. We have 65 years for a purpose. We have 95 years for a purpose. We have 30 years for a purpose. Girl, even one day, y'all, even one day has a purpose. Even babies that are born for one day have a purpose. So when we start to realize that everything that has happened to us, the good and the bad, is a part of the same purpose, that it ultimately gets us back to our higher self, that it ultimately connects us to who we are, then we start to forgive ourselves first, and we start to let go of person, place, and things that do not serve us. Because we understand that it is us that are chastising us. We understand that it is us that are giving people the responsibility. Yes, we don't forget what they've done, but we acknowledge that what happened to me made me who I am. That's what I said, bitch. I won't take back anything that has ever happened to me. And I've been through some very fucked up shit. Would I ever want to say, oh my God, if I have to go through this again, I don't want to go through it again? No, I would. Because it's kept me drug-free. It kept me alcohol-free. It kept me in a state of making good decisions. It kept me confident in myself, even when I didn't think I was confident in myself. It allowed me to make the best decisions for myself. And the decisions that I made did not ultimately affect nobody. It didn't fuck up nobody in any way, shape, or form. I made mistakes, but I made mistakes in the sense of I stunted my own growth. I stopped myself from progressing in a way that I could have, progressed. But we always find our way back. We always find our way back to where we need to find our way back. And so that's why we have to learn to forgive, first of all, ourselves for allowing ourselves to go through this and whatever energies or feelings we have about ourselves by going through this, but also forgive those who perpetrated, okay, who put these things on us, who projected on us. And that's how we do it. That's how we elevate. That's how we find our way back. That's how, when this is all said and done, bitch, ain't no coming back. That's how that is. Something that I was telling somebody a long time ago, I was thinking to myself, like, people are passing away, right? Y'all, this is a little bit of deep conversation, but I'm going to go into lightly and I'll be done. And I was in deep thought. But I was like, you know what? It seems like the population on this planet is like growing, right? They're making it seem like the population is growing. And, 100 years ago, it was like 7 point something. Now we're, close to 8 billion people, whatever. And I'm like, so if people are passing away, then there's no souls incarnating, right? Because there's certain souls that have certain responsibilities and certain, how would I call it? Hierarchies. So the souls like us, right? The ones that are here, right? We are not going to incarnate as an angel our next life. We're not an angel that fell down here and then we leave here at this one life and then we incarnate as an angel, whatever. Like every spirit, every entity has its own purpose. But there's a reason why man, because it gets a little confused. There's a reason why men are considered the greatest, or we have dominion over this realm, right? Because of course it's upside down world and we have dominion over even in the heavens. But like I said, I won't get into that. But either way, going into the layman's term, we all have hierarchy. So everything that incarnates in this realm could incarnate as whatever's in this realm. So you can manifest as a tree. You can manifest as a butterfly, as a bird. That's why even going into, and this is all energy, y'all. And that's why even going into when people pass away, like a lot of my relatives, when they passed away, they would say they would come back as something. And they would say a butterfly. They would say a bird. Some would say a beetle, like a weird beetle. And then you see this beetle and you're like, what the fuck? Or some would say a fly. Like I remember I had a cousin that said, I'm gonna come back as a fly, and if something ever you'll know it's me because the fly would just do stupid ass shit. And then I remember maybe 2 or 3 years after he passed away, my mom was thinking about him like really, really hard, y'all. And a fly came in the house and girl, we were trying to like get this fucking fly and it didn't dawn on us until like the next day because the fly was still there. She was like, wait a minute, didn't he say he's going to come back as a fly? And it's like, girl, okay. So we can incarnate as anything for that matter in this realm because we're here to absorb and observe, right? The frequencies, because it's all about energy. But the whole purpose of incarnating, like I said, and I was getting into this, the whole purpose of incarnating is to once again experience things. So even going into the number and how the numbers are growing and not going down, that's when I got a download of a lot of things that are existing. And of course, we'll never meet these people, y'all. A lot of you will never. Can we talk about this? People who have souls, people who has energy, people who are direct incarnations from the God. You're not a duplicate of whatever energies operate in this world. Because a lot of these people, girl, they're cyborgs. And they've been talking about that for a very long time. A lot of these people are cyborgs. I'm not even going to say this, but I'm going to say this. I feel like a lot of these celebrity kids are cyborgs, girl. A lot of these celebrities went down to a health clinic. They were able to take their egg, do something with the egg. They could determine the sex of the baby, the hair color, the eye color, all that, girl. Y'all need to look this shit up. They have a special facility that can do this. So either way, these are cyborg children. So these spirits that are coming in and we're seeing multiplying of them, these are spiritless individuals. These are people without a soul. And although they're programmed, because we've seen movies of this where these cyborgs or these computers become emotional, but they're like, well, I really can't connect because I don't have a soul. What is that in that movie? Alita? Is it Alita, the Death Angel or something? Y'all gotta look that up. But they have several movies on that, where they like look like humans, they move like humans, they act like humans, but they're like, I don't have the capability of becoming extremely emotional because I don't have a soul. So that's what's going on. Is that there's a lot of fake people. There's a lot of people that are created that were made, right? And of course they're gonna say, "Well, I know I have a soul," and also, but it's like, yeah, well, I don't know. Let's see your lineage. Let's see what. Let's look back. Let's see if we can pull up a history. Okay, because you're gonna look like somebody too. By the way, you're gonna look like your grandmama, your great grandma. Like you're gonna look like somebody. So let's do a history check to see what it really is. Let's see what we really got going on here. Because even going into blood, girl, they can make blood too. They can make fake blood too. We have full synthetic, we have synthetic, and we have real oil, y'all, for y'all cars. So you don't think they can make fully synthetic oil to trick your car and think that it has real oil in it? You don't think they can make fake blood to also, girl, bye. Anyway, we're not giving sex. Like I said, they get a little deep. But that's what it has come down to, is that there's a lot of souls here that fake souls, fake spirits are programmed onto them to help them elevate spiritually and consciously. And so that's why regardless of what we go through, like I said, we find a forgiveness, and not a forgiveness to where we become friends with them again and we kiss their ass, because I don't do that. You become an ex for a reason. If we stop talking because you had a reading with me, I had a reading with you, girl, there's no hatching that out and us becoming cool again. So if we just fell off because we just fell off, there's definitely a chance that we can reconnect. But if we ever had a session where we read each other and all the good shit, girl, we will never be friends again, honey. I don't go back. Bitch, because I learned my lesson from what I learned from you, girl, and you're not keeping me spellbound and on some fucking whips and chains. Okay? You're not keeping me submissive to your frequency and your energy. I've already peeped the game and I'm not interested no more. And that's what this comes down to. So that's it with that, honey. That's it with that, honey. Make you think it's even same voodoo. Wait, who? Wait, who? Wait, who? Make you think it's even the same. Oh, okay, you talk about the storylines and stuff. Right, right, right. Because I told y'all this was one. Y'all can look this up too right now. Let's look this up right now, honey. Can we look this up right now? Hold on. Let's look this up right now, honey. Just so you guys know, Holland, which is a European country, helped the Haitians. Now, don't quote me on this. Give me a moment. Hold on. Don't quote me on this because, we're going to say this, honey. Beat the revolution. But we listen. Hold on. Hold on. Y'all, hold on. Because I keep telling y'all this. I keep telling us, and girl, they want to fucking hold me to the fire, girl. They want to fucking read me down. Hold on. Let me educate you. Let me educate y'all in a minute. Let me help y'all. Let me help y'all. Let me help y'all a little bit. Okay. Okay. Let me help y'all a little bit. Okay. So let's get into this. Okay. Let me make sure I get my dates right. Okay. Let me make sure I get this right, honey. Hold on. So I think they came in multiple times. Let me see right now. Hold on. Girl, don't quote me on this. Hold on, honey. Hold on. Okay, so this is multiple. So throughout the years, you guys, the Dutch have helped Hades with a lot of things throughout the years, y'all. They're saying that there's no direct evidence of this, but there's definitely connections of trade between Hades and Dutch during the revolution, and even going into when they had the earthquake. Holland deployed 99 troops to come in and help Hades get their tea. Y'all, I'm saying this to say, I keep telling y'all, they keep saying that voodoo came from Africa. Once again, it's a history type of thing, because like I told y'all, I've had this conversation with a sister. There is somebody that years ago got me on game with something where they were like, there's a certain practice in Africa that is magical. that nobody has access to unless they're born in it. And these, and I'm just going to talk about this lightly and politely because, of course, I don't like feeding the haters. Because, bitch, now they're going to try to do research. And, of course, I don't believe you can Google it because I tried to. You have to literally get a certain thing on it. And that's how I got the tea that I got on it outside of them telling me. They were like, yeah, you need to go get this. And I'm like, what? I'm going to go get it. So, by the way, these beings practice an ancient type of magic. And this ancient type of magic, can be traced back to other parts of the world. And they use a lot of reflective items to do what they need to do. And so one of this person was actually telling me that they became an American citizen through this practice. They actually had someone, because anyway, I won't get too deep into that because that can open up a lot of cans to a lot of shit. But they became an American citizen through this. And of course, I did my little traces and all this good stuff. And I'm like, well, whatever. And mind y'all, the person did send a nice little donation during that time. That was like 2017, right? 2016, 2017. They sent a really nice donation. I was like, oh, girl. So they definitely got it, But they use reflective items, waters, anything with reflective objects. And they're able to shapeshift and the same story that a lot of ancient stuff shapeshift, take on certain energies, take on certain abilities, and even while they're in that that avatar or that energy, they're not aware of what they're doing. Like the spirit or the soul knows what it's doing, but the person's consciousness is unaware. So they really will take on this identity to save themselves from actually having it exposed, if that makes sense. And so either way, y'all, I always said this, and I was so curious when I did my research years ago, y'all, because I've been holding this since 2017. People are talking about Obia and also the good stuff, right? Well, I was like, everybody is so African, so black, so this, so that. But if they were shipping Native Americans to Africa, more so from the Floridas, the North Carolina, South Carolina, the Georgias, on up, they were shipping them over there to Africa in the 1800s. What other stories have been like reversed, or what other stories have other stuff as well to where they're not really talking about it publicly, where they have you thinking that no, you came from over there, that's how you got here, versus you were here and we sent you over there, then you came back over here. Because even going into like some cultures and some countries, girl, there's like people that have been in a country for like 4 or 5 generations, which go back like 300, 400 years. Some of these countries are not even like let's say enslaved like that. Like they had a little bit of trade going on, but it's like, so how did these people get here? They didn't migrate here on their own. They didn't say, well, let's get on a ship and figure out how to go over here. Especially them saying that they're originally from a whole nother place, a whole nother side of the world. Even right now, in this modern day, on a cruise with navigation or ship with navigation or plane with navigation, they still cannot easily get there. So how did they get there? How did they come to this country? But I found out that a lot of Haitian, and it's not just because they speak French and also the good stuff, y'all, Haitian Creole and stuff. It's not just even that. That a lot of these countries, like Jamaica, Black Caribbean countries, have influences from Europe and still are heavily influenced by Europe. So a lot of their magical folk lore comes from European folklore, like the Netherlands, Norwegian folklore, Irish folklore. And so this is what it comes down to. Well, I'm like, so what is voodoo then? And then of course I said, well, voodoo is God. You venerate God. But then of course there's stories of voodoo being that they start calling voodoo because people were doing things. People were fighting back using certain things. And of course they were like, wait, this black person know how to do magic? We're going to call it black magic. This black person, this Negro, necromancy, knows how to do the magic that we do. Oh, okay, we're going to put it down as black magic. So now it's a black magic. It's a black magi. It's a black this, is black that. So people be gagging when they're like, but that's a black witch, that's a white witch. But it's like, well, what happened if this rhetoric, because even going into the current conscious people, and of course they don't want to talk about it, but we'll talk about it. A lot of these t-shirts people getting like Bobby Hemmings, Phil Valentine, they didn't get it from black people. They got it from white people. They got access to information that white people taught them. And we're not saying that means anything, that white people are greater than these black people. What I'm saying is they didn't get this download. They didn't go to like Africa and get this from African people. They didn't go to the doggone people and learn from the doggone people that's from serious people. Like, they didn't do it that way. They got their information from scholars or people who have, you know, these books and stuff who were just so happen white folks. Because I can be honest and talk about my stuff and AMRC and all this other good stuff that I learned my shit from, honey. It was teachings from white folks. And even going into the stories of how the pilgrims even got here. They took a pilgrimage from Europe and they were exiled out of motherfucking Europe. Girl, the movie Salem talks about it. That's how they got here. And then these exact same people you're saying was like, you know what? Let's go over there to Africa and let's pull these people over here so they can cultivate the land for us because we don't know what we're doing and all this other good shit. Y'all better wake up. That's what I'm saying. Y'all better wake up, girl. These spells have been going on too long. That's what y'all should warn about. I strip and I reverse all magical powers. I go against any workers that tell me. I obliviate and annihilate any energy that has been placed on me that is not my own. Any teachers that were taught to me that was incorrect, I ask that the true story be revealed to me. That's the type of teaching we're into. I need to know what this energy is. What am I connecting with? What am I entertaining? Show me, spirit. Show me, ancestors. Show me, guides. What am I connecting with? Is this the truth or is this made up? Is this a story tale? Is this a fable, a wives' tale, grandmama stories? Or is this a real life true tea going on here? That's what this come down to. Okay, that's it. Got to go. See you later, Grand Madam. I didn't even see you, Grand Madam. Come on now. I guess I'm doing all my talking to catch the replay. Come on, Grand Madam. How you doing? How you doing? How you doing? How you doing? Shamika. Hey, Shamika. Yes, honey. Didn't see you, Shamika. How you doing? How you doing? Yes, honey. Ow. There we go, honey. Come on, Shamika. Bill. Come on in here, Bill. What did Bill say? I think I read Bill. I already read you, Bill. Hey, Dee Dee. How you doing? Yes, honey. Thanks so much, Dee Dee. How you doing? Yes, honey. Yes, honey. Hope you are well, Dee Dee. Hope you are well. So Satan is really just a spirit of adversary. Definitely. Everything is energetic. That's to say, people get the Bible twisted and mixed up with like actual physical things. It is a spiritual thing. The Bible is talking about spirituality, and people keep forgetting that. Your spirit does not understand hell. Your spirit is not going to be able to feel. Could y'all imagine that you going into a hot ass room and say, ooh, it's so hot in here, my spirit can feel it. Bitch, you can feel the heat because your skin has sensories. You can feel the shit because your body can feel the shit. The fuck? Girl, oh, you're gonna burn in hell. It's a hot place. And people are like, ooh, I don't want to go. It's hot as fuck there. You're not even gonna know if it's hot, girl. You're not even gonna have a conscious memory of it fucking being hot there. Let's talk about it, girl. So everything is energetically, it's energetic. You're doing something for yourself, to awaken yourself, to elevate yourself. You're not doing shit to elevate people collectively. Oh, I'm doing this for the people. No, you're not. That's how I tell people. I don't pray for people like that unless you request a prayer or I know you're in need of prayer. And that means that we're connected. I'm like, oh, they're going something, let me put in a word for God. But outside of that, I'm not praying for you. Because, baby, you're not getting me trapped and stuck where you're at because maybe you don't want to change. Prayer doesn't change things like that. Prayer does, just like rehab doesn't make a addict become sober. If the addict don't want to become sober, they're not going to become sober. That's pure point blank. That's a proven fact. So you're a liar because you want to be a liar. You're a thief because you want to be a thief. You're a con artist because you want to be a con artist. You feel like somebody owes you something. It's not where you were taught. It's what you feel like you are. Because a lot of people are taught to hate and dislike what they don't. They end up growing up to be loving, kind people. We know a lot of people like that were taught to, be racist, not interracial, date, not to date interracially, and they do. And it's like, girl, that's what I'm talking about. So it's like, girl, you're taught a lot of stuff, but you're going to do what's good for you, and you're going to do what you feel is best for you. If you feel like what's best for you is to scam, just say that. Take accountability and responsibility, bitch. I didn't know what I was doing. I deserve to be. No, girl, you knew what the fuck you were doing because we all been there. I've been hungry before. I've been, having no water in my motherfucking house, girl, taking baths with fucking bottled water. I've been there before. Can we talk about it? Can we talk about it? Not recently, praise God. Honey, early teens to early 20s. Baby, I moved out at 17. And that's how that was, girl. I know what it's like to eat noodles for a week or two. I know it's like the penny pinch and shit be on type. And like I said, I wasn't no food stamps, no EBT, none of that. I knew how to take $5 and turn it into 500. But I didn't say, oh, girl, I really need some money. What am I going to do? Oh, let me defraud the government. Oh, I need some money. What am I going to do? Oh, let me scam. Oh, I really need some money. What am I going to do? Oh, let's think of some type of scam to get ahead. No, bitch, you're just a fuck the best person. That's okay. That's who you are, though. But don't try to convince me that's not who you are. Oh, I made a mistake. I don't know what I was doing. No, bitch, you knew what the fuck you were doing because we all been there. We all had a chance to make money and we said, wait a minute, this doesn't sound right. I'm not going to do it. Girl, make it make sense, girl. Okay. Okay. Isis, Ra, and L. Come on in here. You know your tea. Come on in here, Jaliel. You know your tea, honey. Pon is different day from Satan. Yes. Yes. Pon is a different deity from Satan. Come on here, Shalonda. Yes. Pon is very different from Satan. Yes, honey. But I'm thinking, though, why is the reverse connect to Lucifer? Is that energy heavier? Does it pull quicker? I think that there are things that are in dark and secret places. That's why the book of Isaiah talks about that. I think that without showing you where the true T is at, we're going to reverse the T. Because people are saying that too. What's the point in telling people that the earth is round when we know it's flat? What's the point in that? And it's like, well, that's the part of the process. That's part of the thinking cap. That's part of the mental, that's the part of how they mind control you. If you don't know where you're at, you don't know where you're going. Does that make sense to you? If you don't know where you're at, you don't know where you're going. If they have you thinking that you're this small spinning ball in the smallest part of Earth or the universe, excuse me, and when they zoom out, you look like a speck of salt in a pool full of salt. If you don't believe that they're doing that to make you seem little, to fuck up your brain, then I don't know what to tell you. Because that's exactly why they're doing it. They want to remind you that, honey, you're nothing. But in reality, you are something. That's why they don't want you to wake up. That's like I said, they want to keep you drugged. That's why they attack you with the food, the water, and all that stuff. Allegedly. We're going to say allegedly for, protection state. Let's talk about it. Allegedly, they contaminate your food, your water. They contaminate everything. They buying out the companies, the herbal companies, the solar ray, girl, the Bragg vinegar shit they buying out these companies. They have their foot in the jar. I said it right. They have their foot in the jar. Girl, they want to get every piece girl to fuck you up. But at the end of the day, you won't be able to awaken to become who you really are. You're not going to know where you're going because you don't know where you come from. And that's how it go collectively anyway. People are so privileged. People feel so entitled. People are so dumbfounded. They're fighting with people about nothing. Whites are fighting with blacks. Blacks are fighting with whites. When in reality, there are civilizations and people out there, cultures out there that have been lost that are greater than yours. And there's no shade with that. And eventually, your culture is going to be lost. That's just, if humans continue to evolve and live on, yes, the African-American culture and the white American culture will also be a lost culture. So we got to stop being egotistical and thinking that we're the greatest and we're this and that. Oh, no. Well, no, because you got it from us and we're better than you. And okay. Okay, baby. Okay, girl. Let me see a change. What has the evolving? What's the evolution of this culture in the past 100 years? And break it down for me. In the past 100 years, collectively, how has the culture of white Americans evolved and how has the culture of black Americans evolved as a whole? Because I still see separation in denomination. I still see it. In domination. I still see it. I still see it. I still see caste systems. I still see separation. I still see dividing people up. I still see, well, you're black, but you're not black enough. I still see, but you're black, but you're gay. So, I still see, but you're black, but you're trans. So, I still see, but you're black, but you're lesbian. But, I still see, but you're black, but you've never married. Okay. Oh, but you're black, but you're poor. Oh, never mind. Oh, but you're black, but you went to school. Oh, never mind. But you're black and you're light skinned with good hair and your dad was actually white. Oh, I still see that. So what has happened 50, 70, 80 years ago that has changed? Because you think we're more freer, but you only see that because you saw these people have it worse. Because even going back into the 1800s, they thought that black people were freer in 1960 than they were in the 1800s. What could be true? It could be true for some. So we're seeing that now. Like, well, we have it better than the 60s because we could freely do shit. That's what you think. They still have segregation rules out there. They still have businesses. They still have cities and towns that people of color cannot go to, including Hispanic people. Can we talk about it? Y'all not ready for that type of teaching. Regardless of what type of law they passed in this country, or they got you thinking that, oh, it's illegal to segregate, it's illegal this and that. They barely said that it became illegal, y'all, to lynch in 2021. They barely made it a federal crime in 2021 in United States of America to lynch people. They barely made it illegal less than 5 fucking years ago. And you're going to try to convince me that this president motherfucking power right now is going to completely flip the world upside motherfucking down? Girl, my assessment of the word is that we've always been hated on. My assessment of the word that LGBT people have always been ostracized, abused, abandoned, neglected, disrespected, and taken the fuck out. Ain't nothing going to change. It's a mind game. It's a mind game. Now we're coming out and telling you what we've been doing secretly. And that's what I've been saying too. The right hand doesn't know what the left hand does, but me in front of you, I know your left hand's behind your back. So I'm not blind or dumb enough to say, well, I see you got your left hand behind your back, but I don't know what's in your left hand. So I'm going to assume that you're hiding the left hand because it's injured. No, girl, the left hand is under the right hand know what it's doing now, or the motherfucker is showing y'all the left hand and the motherfucking right hand now because they want to give you a shock factor. They want to put you in a state of motherfucking fear when in reality, they've always been doing these things. And they've used people, coys, decoys, imposters, avatars, projections, and they might be your own family members to project their program onto you. And that's how it's been. It's been like that forever, y'all. So I'm not caught up in to be like, oh my God, now this man is in office. He's fucking up everything. Oh my God, y'all, I'm so in fear right now. Girl, when have you really been free? When have you really been free as a person of whatever to go anywhere in this world and do whatever the fuck you want? When have you ever been free as a woman? When have you ever been freed as a Black person? When have you ever been freed as a Hispanic person? When have you ever been freed as an LGBTQIA person? Let me know. When have you ever been able to go out and do what you wanted to do and how you wanted to do it without harm to none and still be loved, respected, and accepted? Can we talk about it? You know how many businesses discriminated against people on their race, color, sexual orientation, or religious factors and have never been sued, have still got their business up and going? Honey, people filed lawsuits against them, and because they're mom and pop stores, they were told, well, there's nothing we could do about it. You know how many businesses are like that? You know how many places said, we don't want no color people here, and you show up there, they don't have to help you. You call the police all day long, file a complaint, and they just dismiss the shit? Girl, that's happened a lot. So nothing is going to change. You're allowing fear to shut down all of your senses, including your common sense. You're allowing fear to set you back. You're allowing the lack of knowledge, because you haven't done your history check, to stop you from becoming great. And that's unfortunate for a lot of people. This is why we need to go back. We need to study our history. It's why we need to go and see what has changed. And of course, the place and people that have not changed, let's not support them. I support the state of California because the state of California is very open and receptive and accepting to my people. I can go back even to my grandparents being interracial, my mom's parents. They've been together for a very long time. They were not able to legally marry until after California passed. And I believe California was the first state to pass interracial marriage. It was in the 1970s. And they were one of the first people to go celebrate that. So that's why I support California. Going into a lot of stuff. Yeah, there's some fucked up ass people here. Yeah, there's some fucked up shit that go down. But a state that have given you, that have made a way for you, you can't do nothing but to love them. Going into people that stay in places that don't really give a fuck about you because you're Black, because you're gay, because you're straight, because whatever, you're a Christian, you're a Muslim, they don't support Jewish people, whatever. That's some good ass mind control, baby. Because there's no way I'm staying there. There's no way I'm staying there, babe. There's no way I'm staying in an environment that don't really give a fuck about me. where it's being ruled over people that say, I don't care for these people of color. You can beat them, you can kill them, you can do whatever you want to do to them. We're just going to throw it as they did it to themselves. People are not waking up. And then on the flip side, you have the so-called magi's, witches, and sorcerers, the fake ones, the charlatans, where they're so magical, they're so powerful, but their state that they're in is falling apart in every way, every day. They're so magical inclined. They're so connected to these spirits. They do magical rituals all day, every day. I got the juju for you bitches. But yet they're not affecting the government. So what's really going on here? They're so magical inclined, and the white folks still got them stuck over there off of Greenridge Street. They're so magical. They're so amazing. But the government still got them trapped in the lower stuff to where they had to lie, cheat, and steal. And they got arrested for that. You couldn't beat them at their own game, go to school, get a job, milk them that way. That's the type of milking I like doing. I like working and getting my money. Girl, I like getting what you get and getting how you get it, and girl, call it a day. If I got to go to school to get a degree to milk you that way, I'm going to do it that way. But if you think you're about to have power over me and I'm going to scam and steal from you to where you lock me up and now you're getting back all the money and some, and in the end, I look stupid as fuck. And it happened not once, but twice, but 4 motherfucking times. Bitch, bye. I ain't the fucking fool. You play somebody else's face. And that's what it has come down for me to this day in 2025, April the 17th. Collectively, we're giving people excuses. Collectively, we're all playing a game. We're letting schizophrenic, heavily influenced, under the influence individuals lead groups of people. And this is why you're not seeing no progress. You're stomping, you're marching, but nobody's hearing you. Because you're not really getting down to the get down. You're not really using your magical teas to get to where you need to get to, because it manifests in the spiritual first and then it comes physical. So this is why magic works. And even going into Isaiah, speaking about God created all things, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And it's telling you to find your way back to the Lord and repent, et cetera, et cetera. Y'all think it's about being submissive to an energy when the energy is within you. It's about going back to square one, clearing your table, come up with a plan and execute this plan. A lot of you are moving free-handedly, free-willed. And when you move free-handedly, free-willed, and freelanced, free shit just freely come out the way and knock you the fuck out. You got to have some type of structure, some type of plan, and it needs to be motherfucking executed. And of course, if there's people that in that plan, family, friends, or whatever, you need to also make sure that their plan matches up with yours. And if it doesn't, I'm sorry, babe, at this point, bitch, I got to let you go. But a lot of you have dreams and hopes for yourself. And you don't care about if the people around you have the same hopes and dreams for themselves or if they're willing to support yours. Bitch, I can't deal with a bitch who don't want to be a boss, because I want to be a boss. I like owning my own shit. I like doing shit for myself. I can't be cool with people who don't. Oh, no, I'd rather be taken care of. I'd rather, be told what to do by other people. I'd rather be bossed out and told, girl, listen, that's your tea. I could be high and by, but we're not built the same, babe. I'm meant to take on the stress of being myself and owning my own shit. I'm okay with that. Baby, I'm not meant, I don't have to be guided. And well, this is how you do it. You take your first hand, your pointer finger, and you put it on the first dot. You take your middle finger and you place it on the second dot. You take your ring finger and place it on the third dot. Like, girl, what? Don't tell me how to fucking do shit, girl. Anyway. That's it, y'all. I'm done, honey. Love and light to spiritmystic.blogspot.com. Y'all, I gotta go. Baby, listen. Okay? Ow! Girl, I gotta go. Good seeing you all. Shalonda, Shamika, Grand Madam Jaliel, King of Sheba, and also Billy. Is it Billy, honey? Yes, honey. Oh, of course, and I'm Dee Dee. How you doing? It's good seeing y'all, honey. I hope to see y'all again very soon. Y'all, we will be doing a Midnight Metanol. I need to actually, I told you I already have the Midnight Metanol recorded. The one I'm going to put out, bitch, I got to put one more tea in it, and we're going to put it out there. So be looking for that. The latest will be tomorrow night, y'all. We'll put it out there. It'll be another video, of course, not a live little situation. And yeah, girl, of course, I want y'all feedback, y'all, okay? Bye for now, y'all. Love and light. Happy Thursday, y'all. I'm doing a titty twerk right now. Yeah. 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 Y'all, you know what? I'm gonna share some with y'all right now. Because after I'm done cleaning out my car, I'm gonna go get some. I'm gonna share some with y'all right now, y'all. Be looking on the story soon, okay? Bye for now, y'all. Love and light.